All right, folks, welcome to the Dice Commando Team RH release party for RH4 Unlikely Heroes. Let's do so what we're doing tonight is we just have an open channel for Dice Commando team members. They can pop in and out of the channel, so people may come and go as we plow through the cards because we're going through the whole set. So it's gonna take us a bit. We'll take some breaks as we go. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
All right, let's get a roll call so people can put names with faces here.
All right. I'm that Wookiee Smell, otherwise known as Ryan in real life. And I got Darth Clooney here. Pipe in there, Darth Clooney.
And I'm Gabe. Come here. And this is Levi.
Yep. So there's the Darth Clooney boys that you will face in the Dice Commando tournament that get grounded all the time because they beat me.
And who's this fine-looking gentleman on the bottom?
I'm the Bassmaster, or Bastion, this is my name. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and share my thoughts all the way from Europe, where it's the darkest of night, earliest of mornings.
To be fair, it's only 6:30 p.m. here, and it's pretty dark. So, but yeah. All right. Well, I say we go ahead and get the party started. What we're gonna do is we have the cards to the left. You should just see everybody's beautiful faces there on the right, and we're just gonna go through, and people can kind of pop up, and we're gonna go in numerical order. By the way, in numerical order. So. All right. First off, actually, Ryan, or Wook, what's your overall take of the set so far? It's been out for, I don't know, about 7 hours or so in full, something like that.
Man, this set is awesome. This is probably my favorite set so far. As far as like the characters are great. There's the different options in building is really amazing. As much as pushing you into having different colors or pushing you into mono colors or supports, but just overall, like one of my favorite things to do is deck build, and I'm really enjoying this. Like today, I told Bassmaster today at work I built like 15 decks. So, but and then I'll say this: the artwork in this is incredible. I mean, the artwork is fantastic. That's what I think.
Yeah. How about you, Bastion?
Well, I also have to agree. The artwork is incredible. And I think my feeling about the set is very much a bit of a combination between Redemption and FA in terms of what I'm feeling here. We have a lot of wonderful just mechanics that is mechanically more intriguing than we had with High Stakes. I really like it because, as Ryan said, there's so many options to build, and I really like it. There are a few things that worry me just from a design perspective. We're probably going to talk about those few cards, but overall, I really, really like the set.
All right, great. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So card number 1, this one has been spoiled already, spoiled a couple weeks ago, but this is a Asajj Ventress, so blue villain hero, 10-12 with 10 health. Using the SOR die, 1 melee, 2 melee. This is the old one, so it's a disrupt instead of the focus, and it has a discard, a resource, and a blank. PA, spend 1 resource or spot another witch to roll a weapon die on this character into your pool. So what do we think?
She's solid. I mean, we've seen her, for those that watched the live streams AIH did, we've seen her in action. And she seemed pretty solid. For the cost, I mean, 10-12 for the cost for 10 health. You really kind of want her to build her in the witch deck because spending resource depending on the weapon is alright. But just the amount of dice, and due to some cards that we'll see, she seems pretty decent.
Yeah, one thing I find interesting on her PA is that we know, I mean, we're skipping ahead of a bit, but we know that her weapon, you can make it elite, right? So it's interesting that it specifically says weapon die. It's not like activate a weapon. right? So if you make it elite, you can still only roll in one of its die, which is kind of odd.
I mean, it is unlike Ahsoka, because Ahsoka says weapon dice, right? With Ahsoka, you would roll in all the dice if you had an elite weapon.
Right.
So obviously they're specified here because I have a feeling for that point cost, it would be a bit crazy if she could roll in 2 weapon dice for free. So that is probably why they specified.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to trying her with Pre-Vizsla and getting the, and if you pull the lightsaber pull or get her lightsaber on her, and then you make it elite. If you can do it early game, you're talking about starting with what,
7
dies. That seems pretty crazy, and I believe there's still room for a plot there too. So she's looking pretty good. I'm digging her.
What's interesting about the notion of her being 10-12 is that, like, normally you would never want to pass up on a second die. It's only 2 points, but then at the same time, if you run her elite, you're kind of worried that you put a little target on her back, because then if she's working with a witch team, you're spending some money on the witch, and then you're seeing an Asajj who's bringing 3 dice to the pool every round, and you probably don't want that, and you want that off the board. So it's going to offer some interesting deck building options.
All right. And that's Elrathian, for everyone who doesn't recognize the voice. He's just on voice at this point. Maybe we'll get to see his pretty face here in a little bit. All right, next up, number 2, we have Count Dooku Makashi Master. This is using what was this? Way of the Force die. There we go. Yeah, Way of the Force die. So 2 melee, 3 melee for 1, single focus, 2 shield, a resource, and a blank. He's 14-16, kind of in that sweet spot for 12. After you remove, turn, or resolve one or more of an opponent's character dice, deal 1 damage to each opponent's character whose die you just manipulated. What do you think, Clooney?
I think he's really good. I kind of like how they put the Makashi Mastery as the subtype, because it makes you go back to Makashi and think, oh, how could this work with Count Dooku? I also like how he is 2 points elite, 14-16. So if you ran a 1 die, you would still get the effect from his ability. So in some kind of stupid ping deck, you could run him, and every time you remove turn, every time you manipulate dice, you can get some kind of you get the damage.
So I have to. Sorry.
I'm not saying you should play him in a ping deck. I'm just saying that's an idea.
I have to say, first of all, called it that it would be Dooku. As probably for that second spot. I actually played him earlier with the Echo Base guys, and yeah, he does work. Since it's every time you remove turn, resolve is the least likely to happen here, but especially the turn one in a deck with like Nimon and Force Valor and whatever tech you have, it gets to a pretty amount quite quickly. I mean, I say on average at least twice a round you will proc this, and that is a lot of extra damage. And I played him with Second Sister and Order 66, and that is a nasty deck. That's a nasty deck. Because Second Sister has the turning already, so you get extra ping from her with Dooku, then you have Order 66, then you have your other stuff you play. He should not be underestimated. His dialogue's alright for the cost, kind of below what we've seen so far from the set, but the extra ping damage that he can do is pretty nasty.
Yeah. If you can get Force Concealment down, which is the new, support where you can add, resources to it when you move or turn a dice, and then you can build up to play into something else with that, it's pretty awesome. And your powers are weak with this, I believe, is 3 ping.
No,
right?
no. It does not amount to the number of dice. It's 1, but each character that you manipulate. So if you say the opponent has 3 different characters, and you your powers are weak, each different character die, then you deal 1 to each character.
Yeah.
So it does not depend on the number of dice, just when you do it. Regardless of the number of dice, you ping 1.
Yeah, to each character, and then with force concealment, you can put, I think for each one you turn, you can put it on there. And Unending Hate is pretty nice with this, because you can hit for 3. Which is pretty awesome.
There's a lot of stuff that
Yes.
becomes just every card where you can turn or remove an opponent's die gets extra value for him. I've put the the one where you deal damage to one of your other characters and then turn a die to a value of 0.
So did I. Yep. I ran him with
That
Moment
one's
today.
pretty good.
He was pretty good with Moment, too. Yeah.
Sweet.
Fair enough.
I'm just here for that flavor text. Whoever came up with that. The Sith control everything. You just don't know it.
He even points his lightsaber just as if he's saying it. Yeah, the Sith control me. You just don't know it.
All right, Night Sister Acolyte. So this is a non-unique elite, or option to be elite. 8/10 blue character witch, 1 gun, 2 gun, disrupt, discard, a resource, and a blank. This is a reuse of the Awakening's Night Sister die. Action, play a card from your hand that costs an odd number to reroll a die. So 6 dice start, is that the way to go? Is that the way to go, El Rathian?
I don't know. I think people need to figure out their own deck building here. I've spent a lot of time with the set, so I don't think it'd be fair for me to try and share what my deck building ideas are here. I think people need to play around with it and see what they come up with. But I will say that artwork, I'm just like, I just want to print the poster of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good. When I saw the first sketch of it, I was like, man, this is just going to be amazing. And it is.
It is so good. Probably the most outstanding thing about this card is the artwork.
Yeah,
All
somebody's
right.
gonna break the witches. That's what's gonna happen. Somebody's
I'm
gonna screw this
trying.
up.
I personally don't think the Acolyte will make too much of an impact. She's a nice filler character for witches, I think.
Witches give stitches.
All right, moving on to Ren, Alluring Ideologue. That's a mouthful. Ren, Alluring Ideologue. So 2 melee for an indirect, 3 melee for an indirect, 2 focus, 2 shield for an indirect. Just a point of note, you do have to take the indirect before you get the shields, resource, and a blank. After this character takes damage for the first time each round, you may discard a card from your hand to roll a set-aside Servant of the Darkside die into your pool. What do you think, Bassmaster?
He is very interesting because his ability, of course, the sides all have the indirect cost, but he has the health to match to kind of balance it out, and the sides are nothing to sneeze at. He's very interesting, I think, because his subtypes are untypical for blue villain. So depending on what you run, you might not be able to play the best stuff of blue villain. But then you have this extra die, and it can hit pretty nasty. When you have all melee showing, you're resolving, you roll that extra die in, and if it hits the 3-for-1, you can immediately resolve it. So the opponent must always be aware of the danger that can come with letting Ren resolve his dice. So I actually can't judge how good he will be. He's a bit of an enigma in this regard because of the damage he does to himself.
Yeah, that's what I find. I felt the same way. Like, I looked at it and I thought, this card is wild because you really got to think about who to pair him with and how to to work around. Now, one thing I thought about, and one of the decks I made today was him and Savage using Sith armor so that you can block that indirect coming in. I think you can exhaust it and block an indirect block a damage coming in. And so I thought about that would be interesting because if you could block one around, I don't know, but he's quite interesting. The whole take an indirect to do damage or basically as a cost is quite interesting in all of this. I haven't quite figured it out, wrap my hand around it yet.
So I think he has to actually take damage. It's not right. It's not deal damage. He has to take the damage. So I don't think you
Yes.
can block it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
the
can
Sith
block
armor?
stuff, but it probably just reduces the damage you take overall. But it does say take damage, so if you block it, you don't get the chance. Also, very important, you have one chance to get the die in. It's the first time he takes damage, so you have to do it then. So if you, for example, the opponent hits him, and you don't use that chance, you lost it. It's also very interesting because you have to discard a card, so there will be times where you really have to think about if you want that extra die, especially if you just took the damage in an not a non-ideal situation.
When would you not want the die?
For example, when you don't want to lose any of the cards you have in hand. For example, I don't know, the opponent has
You just don't want to sack the card. I gotcha.
you don't want to sack the card, or, well, I don't know, there might be other times when you don't want the extra die. Maybe the opponent has something that interacts with your dice and you don't want the extra risk or something. I don't know, they have a reversal. Maybe they have a reversal in hand. You don't want to give them the chance at an extra free damage or something like that. It's quite interesting. But mostly the discard.
I see what you got. I see what you guys are saying about to roll the Servant of the Dark Side in. He's got to take damage to do that. I meant more of the indirect cost on his dice. If you're running the
I follow.
The Sith armor, you basically can block or take that. You can pay that cost and block it, and then be able to do his dice. So you're not taking so much damage. It may be a terrible idea. Who knows? But yeah, he's a little bit tougher nut to crack to figure out how to use him and who to use him with and who to pair him with. It'll be interesting.
All right, influence. This is a downgrade curse. Oh, downgrade curse. All right, spot a witch and exhaust this downgrade to force an opponent to either remove an attached character's character die or have you gain run resource. This one doesn't scare me as much in the current curse ping decks, but I don't know. Does anybody see anything here worth talking about?
I wouldn't underestimate it. I played it against a middle deck and put it on a character. It was Dash. And basically every round I got a free resource. Because he didn't want to remove any of his dice. Or of those two dice. So if you put it on a character with dice they definitely want to keep, you just get a free resource each turn. It is slow, yes, but it's money.
Yeah, I just see it as dead or alive, right, without being a bounty.
Yeah, kind of.
So
Kind of.
all right.
It's good. All that.
Expunge weakness. So this is a blue villain event. Spot a blue character to remove one of your dice showing a blank, then remove an opponent's die. Seems pretty legit. Any comments there?
Don't think it will see too much play, to be honest, because it's very situational. And maybe if you have a combo with what's the card from FA where you turn one of your dice to a blank, and then if the opponent has two blanks, you get a money. Maybe something there. I don't think it will see too much play. It's pretty nice art, though.
I thought the same thing because I at first I was like, oh, this is kind of sweet, and then when I was looking at it and making the cuts for what's going to make it into a deck, it didn't make it into the deck for that reason. Like, well, what if I don't have a blank and now I've got a dead card in hand? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it shows up.
Although I don't know how many blue characters have a blank. If you run a blue character that has a lot of blanks, this might be worth running.
Oh, it could be any die, really, right? So it could be, if you're on a one-cost upgrade, for instance, has two blanks, you could remove it. So depends on how you build your deck, whether you're going to run it.
Yeah, it's a more restrictive he doesn't like you, right?
Exactly. Although if you're playing that, Pre-Vizsla runs it, but the one where when you remove a die, you do a damage. I mean, in a yellow with that, it would work.
Black Stall Station.
Yeah.
That's a card for sure. All right, through power, gain strength. This is a 2-cost blue event villain. Remove a die. Then you may resolve one of your dice showing damage, increasing its value by 2. Seems a little low on the value curve because it's card from hand and 2 to increase your by 2 plus removing a die.
Maul probably likes it
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
because you can play it for 1, and that's pretty decent value for 1. It probably won't make the cut in any Sith decks, simply because you have better removal options, and probably better damage options in terms of blue cards for tech, which we will see later.
You could get it
But
off the money side, right? Nope, showing damage. Can't do it with money.
It
Never
has to be
mind.
damage.
Yeah.
So it has to be. It is a nice tech card. Probably will not show up in many decks, I would say.
All right, Vile Machinations. 1-drop blue villain event. You may spot a yellow character to remove a die not showing damage. You may spot a blue character to turn a die showing damage to a side showing a blank. All for 1. That seems pretty good, right? In the right deck.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I haven't used it yet. I haven't slotted it in, but I'm loving these cards that push you into the 2 different colors, and then it gives you an option to do something with both. I really like it.
I could see this very much in a deck. I mean, not only in a deck where you play just any blue villain or blue-yellow villain. For example, Dooku probably, if you figure out a good villain yellow pairing with him, he will love this card. Because, well, if they have 2 different character dice in, you ping 2 damage. It's really nice. And of course, it plays with that aspect of blue villain of turning dice to a blank. So it will be very interesting to see what pairings we will come up during the meta that will use this effectively.
Dooku can pair with, what's her name? Fennec Shand, right? So
Yeah, Fennec.
that's not irrelevant.
Yeah.
Could pair him with Fennec, could pair him with Aura. There are some interesting pairings you could do.
All right, moving on. Now we are in support. So this is a support vehicle. Asajj's her Gingivitis Starfighter. All right. So 2-drop support vehicle, power action, support, spot. Let's start over. PA, spot Asajj Ventress to roll 1 of her character dice into your pool. Okay. And remember, her die is a 1 melee, 2 melee, disrupt, discard, resource, and a blank. This one is 2 gun, disrupt, 2 shield, resource, and a blank. That's a pretty good die for 2.
Yeah, especially if you... I mean, if you play Asajj, you play this. Clear and simple. The value you get from it is just good for a 2 cost. It's really, really good because it's the die, which is already good, and then you get the extra value of 1 or 2 with a character die. And that seems to... Yeah.
It doesn't get played much outside of Asajj, though, do you think?
I mean, I don't think so.
I don't either.
I mean, it has an advantage of being a blue support, a blue vehicle, which have been kind of few and far between over the history of Destiny, but I don't know that you need it necessarily, right? It's because you're probably not playing like a mono blue villain pilot something, but I mean...
it's a really serviceable die, right?
Oh, no, it's a fantastic die.
So at 2 costs, right, if you think about it, if you kind of play the equation game of what's the value of a resource, right? Like your 2 ranges, value of a resource, your 2 ranges, value of a resource. Your resource is the value of a resource. So you got like half your dice, like the value of a resource, and then you got a 2 shield side, which is, it's also nothing to sniff at. And the disrupt is typically serviceable. I mean, you can't always execute on it, but when you can, you're really happy. So, I think overall pretty strong, but obviously the fact that there's such a carrot for Asajj, makes you want to reevaluate it always.
It also really shows the power of an Asajj deck of just having so many dice that you can roll in and roll in again. So you're less affected by mitigation and you get more value of what you play. I really like it.
Yeah, I think you throw it in any Asajj deck, right? You just had you run a one of, right?
At
And if
least.
you get it down, yeah.
The thing is, though, is that is her ship worth the slot in your deck for her die? I mean, the special, but it's basically a 2 cost with the die. But is her die worth that much plus the support?
Well, I think you have to in a Sarge deck, definitely, because for 2 costs you basically get a 3 to 4 value most of the time out of it, in terms of just the value of dice, which is split up in 2 dice, which is already good. So for 2 cost, it's very much worth it in a Sarge deck. Outside of a Sarge deck, that is more the question of if you really want to spend a slot on it.
All right, moving on to Force Concealment. So this had been spoiled already, actually referred to already this evening. So it's a 1-drop villain support. After you turn or remove an opponent's die, place 1 resource on the support. Action, discard this support to play a blue ability or blue event, decreasing its cost by the number of resources on this support up to 3. So do note, just note that it's a reduction. It doesn't mean that you have to only play something worth 3, right?
Yes, I love this card. I want it to be really good. I'm just not sure it's going to be, but if you get it down early, right, it's amazing. And I think, now here's my question. So if you play your powers are weak and you flip 3 dice, are you putting 3 resources on this? Or do you only get 1?
Yeah, so this one's worded like DJ used to be, right, where you get 1 for each die.
That's what I thought.
Dooku was worded more like how easy
One on
pickings
one.
used to work on some stuff, right, where it's 1 removal. So
Yeah. When it's worded 1 or more and then followed by the effect, it's just what the effect says. So this is like what's your career. So yes, when you play your powers are weak, you get an instant 3 on it.
Yeah,
So it is very good.
I'm really digging it. I'm going to be running it in all the blue stuff, which is my favorite to run. And because you play a powers are weak, you get 3 on there, and then you're able to, play something in the same turn. If you got it in hand, I think it's fantastic. Even the new Sith Master, you can play remove a blank. I don't know. I'm going to be running it a lot. I think it's pretty good.
It's very important to also note it is ability or blue vent. Of course,
Yeah.
you have to have it in hand what you want to play, so you can't play it from your discard or anywhere else. So you have to have it in that moment. But yes, blue vent. I mean, you could use it. I don't know, for an Alter Fate might see more play now, where you can just put this down at a reduced cost of essentially 2 to get some broad removal when you really need it, or an ability like Xian or Taru or Deathfield.
Or you sit on it for Rise Again.
Or Rise Again, yes, that is also on the reprint list. So
Yeah.
I think it's a replacement for Forbidden Lore. When they lost that, they gained this.
yeah,
I know. It's great. I'm loving it.
all right, so we'd referred to this one already, Asajj's lightsaber. This is a fantastic weapon. This is a 2-drop villain upgrade weapon, 1 melee, 2 melee for 1 indirect, a modified 2 melee. Discard a 2 shield for 1 indirect with a blank. After you play this upgrade on a blue character, you may spend 1 resource to make it elite. While this upgrade is on Asajj, decrease this die's cost by 1. That's fun. I mean, it's a good weapon. It's a phenomenal weapon on Asajj.
yeah, that's I think essentially what it is. It is for 3. I made the argument on anybody but Asajj. It's on par with any other 3-drop, depending on what sides you actually get to resolve. On Asajj, it's just really, really, really amazing.
Yeah. Yes. We had a long discussion. We were walking the dog, me and the boys discussing whether or not you would run this, in a deck that's not Asajj. And would you take, if you can get it down with Jarkai, would you take 2 indirect to do 6 damage? I mean, I think so, right?
Yeah, I think arguably that might be the only case. I mean, given the other cards out there, I think arguably the only case where you're running at Elite is in a Jarkai. Running at Elite without Asajj, I should say, is probably in a Jarkai build.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're probably not going to go elite with it because I think there's just better 3-drops. But don't underestimate the power of getting dice on the table. So
if you're sure that your character is going to stick around for a while,
right.
You know, obviously it doesn't have redeploy, right? But outside of that, you know, like for 3 cost, it's kind of like, you know, 2 melee, 4 for 2 melee, plus 4 melee, do discard, 4 shields for 2. Well, that's good. You know, you obviously won't double roll probably, but you know, that's overall, that's the combination of those dice values. That's pretty good.
You mention it. Also, something that we will see: villains having a lot more shield sides, because we've seen multiple shield sides, 2 shield sides already in those first 11 cards, and that will be a trend for villains because they are getting shields.
They just have to cut themselves first to get it. That's a
not always.
Yeah, I mean, remember though, this would, even if you make it elite, it still only overwrites for 2, right? So I think to Alrathian's point, you better be sure that they're your last guy standing if you're going to do it. Otherwise, I'm probably personally going to skew to a 3-drop redeploy all day long, I would think. Right? I mean, even like a Killian or something, it's not quite as sexy on the sides, but I think you get more value out of it. Because you can't even overwrite this for equal value if you make it elite, right?
And don't even dare play this against, I don't know, somebody who actually plays Impound or Cat Bane if they manage to make him work, because you don't want somebody to steal this.
All right, next up is, so this one is really interesting to me. I want to have a good conversation about this one. 1-drop blue villain upgrade, Dark Rage. So this is a 1-drop upgrade, which I love. It's blue character only. While attached character has 6 or more damage on it, increase this dice value by 1 or by 2 instead if attached character has 9 or more damage on it. Appropriately, it has Savage on there. I think that's a great flavor choice. 1, 2, or 3 melee. 1, 2, or 3 melee for 1 indirect. 1, 2, or 3 melee for 1 indirect. Modified 1, 2, or 3 melee. And I guess it could be a 1, 2, or 3 disrupt, and then blank. This is very interesting, right? Because it's probably the first 1-drop upgrade I've seen that you actually want late game, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It has the advantage, I think, due to being a 1-drop, that you can just play late game and will have probably pretty good value. It only costs 1, so you have other stuff to play. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, usually you like your ones to be upgrade fodder, right? Or overwrite fodder, right? So, very interesting. What were you going to say, Wook?
Oh, yeah.
What were you going to say, Wookie?
No, yeah, this is a very interesting card. I mean, who do you... So, like, I had it in a deck with Savage, and because Savage's dice get bumped up, I think, when he hits 6 or his special or something like that, but... You know, and then late, like, do you want to overwrite this with something else, or do you want to keep this so that when on a character that's taking damage so that it gets bumped up? And I know there's another, you know, if you can get a character, there's another card coming up that we'll look at that basically you can heal for the cost of an upgrade. Or, heal the cost of an upgrade. So if you have more than one upgrade on a character with it, you can heal them and keep them. I mean, you're still going to probably be above 6 damage. I know this is really interesting because you're thinking, it's a 1. I kind of want to overwrite it with something bigger, but it gets bigger as the character gets more damage. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I'm interested to see if it hangs around.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to overwrite it because, like, you're not going to sit on it all game just to overwrite it when it finally gets good, right? So, like, it's going to go down and stay there. And it is an upgrade. It's not an ability. It's not a weapon. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting card. I like it because I don't know how it's going to play, but I think it has huge upside.
And then if you're right, you know, you talked about where you pay the indirect cost for when you take a damage, and if you're sitting at 5 damage and you roll that one out, you know what I mean? And then you can take that indirect and it bumps it up to a 2, or if that happens and bumps it up to a 3, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. It's really interesting. The whole indirect to yourself, which I guess you can put on a different character, but I'm still kind of trying to balance the having an indirect, taking the indirect, damaging yourself or cutting yourself, as you said, to play it. But I'm kind of digging this card.
All right.
It's a very
Go ahead.
I think it's a very narrow window that you can get the damage off because, I mean, yeah, once you're at 6 health, but next round you'll probably be around 9 health, and then that round your character is probably going to be dead. If you, I don't know what character, I don't know what character you would use, but like let's say Savage, you put this on him and he's at 6 damage. Next round you Guardian and he's got damage on him because they're killing him. He's at 9. Okay, so you have that next round to deal the damage, and then he's dead. So I mean, it's a really narrow window, but I think I think like you said, Andrew, I like it because I'm just interested to see what will happen to it.
Well, I mean, you have to make a lot of interesting decisions as the opponent too. On like, if they throw this down, you go for that guy first. You leave him for late game. You probably don't want to, but then if you go for him first, he risks taking out another one of your guys while you're cutting him down. This is a really cool card. Actually, I'm loving it more as we're talking about it. All right, moving on. So, Deny Death. This is a 1-drop upgrade. Also, no subtypes. Before attached character would be defeated, instead discard one of your blue abilities to heal damage equal to that ability's cost from this attached character. Discard this upgrade.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, Bane loved this already, just for it existing. It would be interesting to see how many villain decks will actually run it, because I think not all of them will, because the cost to just get rid of one of your big things might be too much, because you might not win anyway because of that. But big characters like Bane or really big ability decks will love this.
Yeah, this is it. I had an argument with myself. Like, do you include this and take up a slot in your one of your upgrade slots? You know, because I was thinking like, oh well, would I overwrite something with this at the last moment? You know, and then try to keep a character alive. But it's a 1 cost, so you're losing a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Like with that last card we were looking at, the Dark Rage. If you have this down and say you had another big upgrade on a character, and you could keep it alive, but you can keep your character alive, but it makes Dark Rage a 3 melee, or I don't know. Interesting, very interesting.
It's an auto include in Bane. In
Totally.
other decks, it will be very interesting to see what other decks can use it quite well.
All right, moving on
Return
to
of second chance.
go ahead, Elrathia.
Return of second chance. A little bit.
At a
Second
significant
chance.
cost.
Second chance, but fairer.
All right, next upgrade. This is Sith Master. This is a 3-drop villain blue upgrade. Sith character only. After you play this upgrade, you may remove a die showing a blank. PA, roll a character or upgrade die on the attached character into your pool. Do note, this is not an ability. It is just a title. Worth it or no? You like it?
I like it. I don't know if it's worth it. That's the thing.
Your command is still a thing.
Yeah, true.
So
True.
What's still a
Playing
thing?
it for 2. You're on command.
So play this for 2, and you're in command. You can put it on anybody. So depending on the pairing you have, I probably would include this at least once in the deck. If you have some kind of title deck with villains, or just run a big blue with some red character.
Yeah. The one that we lost, I can't remember what it was called. Was it Sith Teachings where you removed a blank? And I loved that upgrade where you were able to remove a blank. So I dig that because you're getting dice out of the pool. I don't think I play this unless I'm playing something worth rolling the die back in. Something big enough to have a big enough die. But let me just say, the artwork on this one is amazing. I love that artwork.
Oh yeah.
I'll probably play it just for the artwork.
I used to be like a giant fan of Way of the Force, the upgrade back in the day, and I was always trying to like build a deck, create something that could allow me to exploit it. Very rarely I succeeded, but this kind of feels like a very similar card. Trying to play with characters that have a big point delta between their elite and non-elite cost, and seeing if this card allows you to run them non-elite and still get good value out of it. Seems interesting.
Yeah, I want to try to run this with Dooku so that I can remove a blank ping and damage and then try to get force concealment down and add, you know what I mean, to get a little bit more out of it.
Hmm.
And then getting another Dooku die rolled back in seems pretty decent. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
All right, Water of Life is a 1-drop upgrade using the Dark Council die. Focus, resource, special, blank. Special is heal 1 damage from a character, spot a witch to reroll this die instead of removing it. That's a pretty decent 1-drop upgrade, in my opinion.
I think in witches it's an auto include if you do a witch deck, obviously.
It's odd, right? Yeah.
It's a decent 1-cost die. You might have the chance of getting a bunch of free healing from it if you're really lucky. Other than that, outside of witches, maybe I'm not sure. There are some other 1-cost upgrades like Nimon Training or the other one which actually also does damage and has better sides, I think, or at least slightly better sides. So we'll see. But we'll definitely see it in witch decks.
Yeah, I really like this card because the witches have a lot of low healths, and so this is kind of a way to keep your witches alive, especially with Talzin. If you can run an all odds deck and then flip to the free heal on this, I love the witches, so I really like this card.
All right, moving into red villains. So we have Droideka. So this is also a unique non-elite. So you're going to see right away it's 8/11 for 10 health, and you're going to say, holy lord, but hold your jets. So it's 1 gun, 2 gun, 3 gun for 2 indirect, 1 shield, 2 shield for 1 indirect, and a blank. After setup, give this character 1 shield, so it's effectively 11 health. While this character has 1 or more shields, increase the value of its character dice by 1. While this character has no shields, increase the damage dealt to this character by 1.
Some
Thoughts?
people say they are bad. I say be very careful of what you say. They can be monsters. Because just for a little math experiment. First of all, what's the card called? Where you resolve non-unique dread character dice against multiple opponents' characters.
Inflating fire?
Inflating fire, yeah.
Yeah. First of all, that. Second, vicious tactics. If they use that on that free side, they are going to do 5 or 6 damage direct to a character. I think, in the right deck, they will be very dangerous.
I saw
In those sides.
I saw Grievous in the 2 droids on the stream, and then I looked at him and I was like, I have no idea what to do with this. I'm gonna have to like pull them out and read all the cards, and I'm just gonna have to play with them to figure out, because I think there's you got to figure out how to keep shields on them, right? I mean, that's basically what you got to do. And then do you kill Grievous to try to keep them alive? I don't know. So it's I think there's something there really interesting.
Even
We've
for
already-
8/11, that die is pretty good.
We've already seen several cards that are going to make kind of the math game a lot more difficult when trying to decide if your character is going to live or not. Just in the few villain cards that we've seen, right? So we saw Ren, and it's kind of like, okay, sure, you're showing that tree, but maybe if odds are completely stacked against you, you can get spiked for 6. And then we saw the removal that the out of hand can like give you 2 extra damage on your dice resolve, and now the Droideka with the vicious tactic, all of a sudden you have to be like, could I be facing 6? So I think there's going to be quite a few games into these new villain builds that people are going to be like scratching their head and thinking like, okay, what are my odds here that they have a certain combo in the hand, and do I have enough HP to wither it or not?
Yeah, fair enough.
I think Bubble Shield, right? You put Bubble Shield down with these guys.
And again, shield sides. So we see again, villains are getting a lot of shield sides here, and some characters really need them. and they are very valuable to certain characters, like the Droidica.
Well, the Droidica not having shield sides would have been a crime, so that would make sense regardless. But all right, and Wookid spoke of General Grievous, so this guy is freaking awesome. So General Grievous, Kalish Warlord, I don't know if that's the way you say it, it seems right. 11-14 for 11 health, 2 melee, 1 focus, 2 focus for an indirect. He has to kill a droid to be able to get that second focused off. Resource, a blank. Character leader, note he is not a droid, which is important. Before you resolve this die showing focus, you may increase its value by 1. If you do, its effect can only churn droid dice. PA, deal 1 indirect to yourself to roll a droid die on a card you control into your pool. All for 14 points. Thoughts?
I don't know if I would run him in any deck besides a droid deck. Maybe with Afra.
Afra
Because-
is 10-13, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very interesting to see to see what people are going to try to run with him, because of his ability. It is very, because we're going to see that later. We got a few new droid cards, so Afra will be interesting. I'm intrigued to see what people will try to do with him, because it is just, yeah, he does so many interesting things with droids.
All right. I just saw Snake also just popped in. How's it going, man?
Good. Sorry I'm late to the party, boys.
That's all good. Thanks for joining. All right, we'll give you first crack then. Actually, that's kind of appropriate. We'll give you first crack then at our next one. So this is Iden Versio, Imperial Ace. She's a 12-15 for 12, so right on par with she was before. She's using the same die as she was before. 2 gun, 2 focus, a discard, a resource, and a blank. She's a character leader, pilot, trooper. But you may include her on a team that also includes a red hero leader, Wedge, AR. She has piloting. While this die is in your pool, increase the value of your piloted vehicle dice by 1. Not the ones she's piloting, all of them. What do you think, man?
Yeah, super strong, man. Honestly, a huge fan of Iden Versio from the original set. Looking at this one now, just the deck building possibilities are incredible. You mentioned it already with Wedge, but you have to consider you can also then utilize maybe a single die Wedge, maybe incorporate a certain yellow pilot per se. Little young Anakin Skywalker is also a possibility there, and you then have access to some of those yellow hero cards as well. So, having 3/4 of those cards available to build your deck is pretty solid. And that ability, man, wow! Just as long as there dies in the pool, that's a pretty strong ability.
Let's also not forget she has 3 subtypes: leader,
Yes,
pilot, and trooper.
Yeah.
So,
incredible.
and you can build some villain cards with you. So you can play stuff like Command and Conquer and just get everything on that. You have Pride Shields, you have Spot Leader stuff. So she fills a lot of slots. I get the feeling.
Yeah, she's pretty crazy. So I built a Wedge, Plo Koon, Iden, and the fact that you get to dip into the villain card, so you get supply ship, you can bring Outland TIE Fighter, which means you can get out of it and bring it back for free. I mean, she brings some stuff. So I don't know, you get mouse droids, right? So I mean, you're putting those in there, and then you're increasing your support dies by 1. Yeah, she's pretty hot, and that artwork is killer too.
Yeah,
give me some more of that artwork.
Oh yeah.
I mean, irregardless of how good she is, which I think she's good, the fact that, right, it's not doing the Infus Nest thing where you can bring a limited number of cards. You are building a hero and villain team, right?
And to be fair,
so you get both in your deck.
Yes, I think they have to adjust the RG a bit there, because normally cards that do that have the additional text that they do that, like IG or Temporary Truce. So people actually mentioned that in the rules questions, and I think they will change the RLG a bit in that regard.
Oh, you think she'll be part of a hero deck as opposed to being both?
Yeah.
I think villains will also try to build her in some way, but I think we will see her more in hero decks.
Yeah,
I
because
see.
there's the new red card where it's basically like an easy pickings if you give them the battlefield.
Mhm.
And so if you run Colossus, right, you run Colossus and then Westar, and then with her you can remove 2 dice. It starts to get crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. All right, Tarkin. All right, I don't want to spend too much time on him because he's been out for a while now. But he's 10-13 for 11, which on the on the get go there's a pretty fair established baseline of 10-13s for 11. Except that baseline is that they've always been really good characters, like Snoke and so on. 2 indirect, 3 indirect for 1 indirect, 2 focus or a discard resource and a blank. PA. Reveal an opponent's hand, discard a card from your hand, and discard a card of your choice from that opponent's hand with the same cost. And remember, of course, he was spoiled with the Separatist Blockade Craft or whatever it was that lets you recycle supports. So looking pretty scary there.
We will see him and the old Thrawn quite a bit, I think. That is not the worst combination that controls your hand very effectively. So I think we will see that pair maybe in the release tournament a few times.
I saw it this afternoon, and it was kind of gross.
Yeah, that is
Because
scary.
he had the support where you can bring out the droid. What is it? I can't remember what it's called, but you get the droid.
The Separatist landing craft.
Yep.
Yeah, and then with supply ship,
Yeah.
he kept bringing it back and
Yeah.
playing it again.
Infinite droid, the infinite droid
Infinite-
pooper. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be.
Yeah, and I think
rough.
that is a combo that AIH will also keep an eye on. And, if it becomes a problem, they just remove the Separatist landing craft from the reprint list. So that's an easy fix, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know anything on the inside, but it seems to me the reason they included Separatist landing craft was specifically for that combo. I mean, otherwise, why
yeah.
bring back that card? Because it didn't see much play, right? So.
But they're also keeping their eye on it, I think, on that combo. Because if it becomes too strong, of course, they're going to just, get it away.
All right, moving on to Inhibitor Chip. So this is a 2-cost villain downgrade red. Action exhaust this downgrade to place 1 resource on it. Then if this card has 2 or more resources on it, 2 or more, note, it's not exactly 2, it's not like an improvised or something like that. Then if this card has 2 or more, force an opponent to remove 1 of attached character's character dice, then roll that die into your pool. So it's a double then, but they do have to remove a die to roll it in. And poor Rex is getting his inhibitor chip. Well, I think he's actually getting it taken out here, so I guess that's a good thing.
This will be interesting to see who will
Is this
utilize
worth
it.
it, is the question.
I think if you can put it in the first round on a big character like Mace or Bo-Katan or Bane, then yes, it will be worth it because you can then every round remove with the second round, starting with the second round, remove 1 of the character dice, and get it for yourself. That is an insane value if you get it round 1. If you get it late, this is that card. And it will be very interesting to see who can utilize this.
Yeah, and
because it costs 2.
isn't that the problem though, right? Or I mean, not the problem, but isn't that something to consider? Is that because you have to get it early? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Because you have to get it early, you most likely have to run it as a 2 of, and then do you really want to run it? I think there's an interesting build question there, right? Because 30 cards is only 30 cards.
So that's the question, because then also it is a dead card again, I think, against a deck full of small characters, because you're not gonna want to spend 2 costs for small dice later on. I think it might be a one-off in some villain decks, simply because of the chance of you getting it first round against, because there are a lot of strong characters around. So I can see several red villain decks just including a one-off, and then if they have it round 1, great. If they have it later, well, Tarkin just discards it. I don't know. Tarkin discards it to get rid of a 2 cost in their head.
Yeah.
I would agree with that assessment. I mean, that initial cost of 2 plus having to exhaust it, wait for the second round just to exhaust again. It's quite
to be
steep.
fair, but the thing is, I do think that it will see some play, because the value you get out of it is
True.
insane after the first round you play it.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up in some niche decks. I would say it's a targeted card. I don't think you're going to be running a lot of it.
I will give somebody an extra applause if they run this with Dooku. just to get
Extra
the
applause.
maximum value out of this. Just exhaust, remove a die, do a damage, get the die into your pool.
I'm just gonna take notes as we go, and I'll just write that down for one of the things I need to do. Check it off.
If you're running it with Night Sister Layer, you get to play it for 1, right?
I'm not sure if you get extra value with Dooku.
Yeah.
Because you don't
then you
remove the later move.
Is there anything that lets you put?
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, true. Yeah, they force it. Yeah, force an opponent to move on.
No, I don't know of anything that lets you put a resource on a downgrade.
Did Deadlock rotate out?
No, Deadlock is supports, but there is a card. There is a non-character. Is it the battlefield? Isn't it the battlefield?
Hanger 3/5 or something like that.
That's a claim.
Is that a claim?
I don't know what up. Well, let's move on.
No.
In the interest of time. All right. Let's just kind of breeze over this. At all costs is a red villain event. Turn one of your dice to side showing a cost. I think it's very apt and appropriate in this set because we have a lot of costs.
Yep.
We've seen that before, only in yellow.
Yeah. All right, now Casualties of War. So this is a 1-drop red villain upgrade. Set aside a card from a discard pile to remove a die with a value equal to that card's cost. It's not your discard pile. That's pretty interesting.
Yep. And that's probably what they're going to use it for. Not your discard pile, but the opponent's. So get rid of that, whatever they want to play from that.
And it's interesting that it's in red villain, who's the person you would want to play it against, which is to get rid of that damn Separatist Landcraft.
Sure. I think there are a lot of. I think there are, now with this set, there are a lot of decks you want to play this against.
Yeah. It's very versatile, and it's a great cost too, even at 1. I think it's very fair. Excellent design.
Just play it to stick it to blow clue.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, can you guys see red villain not running this card?
I definitely run this one for sure.
Yeah.
Solid removal. If anything, it fills a solid removal slot.
Absolutely.
You probably feel bad if you get it at the start of the game. You want this definitely towards the end.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, I'd like it.
Yeah. All right. This card looks awesome, by the way. This needs to be like a alt art or something in one of their kits. But this is Defensive Effort. Give control of the battlefield to an opponent and spot up to 2 red characters to remove that many dice showing damage. Yeah. Pyre loves this, man. That's one of Pyre's problems is not being able to get rid of the battlefield to get it back, right? So.
Yeah. Pyre and Viz. Both of them will like this. I like how it's balanced that you have to spot up to 2 red characters. So later in the game, it will lose value if you're down to only 1 red character. It's still good. I mean, it's still 1 for 1.
Yeah.
If you have no red characters left, so you're probably only going to play this in a mono red, simply because of the danger of being a dead cut. Yeah. Otherwise.
Agreed.
I feel like Dice Commando should release an alt art of this with Pyre on it.
With Pyre on
Nice.
and Kragan right behind him.
And honor of yes. Honor of
Ah, yes, the defensive effort.
All right. Good soldiers follow orders. 1 cost villain, turn a trooper die to any side. Then, if it was your die, you may spot a blue character to resolve it. That is potentially really strong.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very interesting. Especially, funny enough, you can play this in a hero deck with Iden and another blue character.
Yep.
That is probably...
What was the card? I think it was from CM. It had like Krennic on it, and you could like spot a leader, spot a pilot.
I'll do it myself.
What's that?
Oh no, that is Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer. Okay, yeah.
Command and Conquer, yeah.
And if they had all of the subtypes, which Iden does, by the way, she's a leader, trooper, pilot. So she actually has 2 of those at her disposal, which is, I mean, she only has 2s, I guess, so take it or leave it, but...
There's another one a similar one, I'll do it myself or something, where it's you turn a die to something and then some other condition you can resolve it or whatever.
I think you have to have 1 character left.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Moving into...
I didn't pilot Vader, right?
Yeah, I mean, I meant to actually ask that before and I forgot because we got distracted. Do you run Iden with Vader, or do you try running her with what's his name, Baron Tefel or whatever his name is?
Elric von Rig.
Yeah, that guy. Maybe I'm getting my universes switched there. Whatever. All right, crucial intel. Team up 1 each leader. It's a 2-drop, so if you get 3 leaders on your team, probably in like a mill jank or something like that, it's -1. After a card is discarded from an opponent's hand by a card effect, place 1 resource on this plot. PA, remove 3 resources from this plot to gain 2 actions.
Fucking thrown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it earlier in Echo Base, so it is quite good because you get just normally 2 or at least 1 every round, and later on when you have all your supports out, you just I need some damage to kill a character. Well, just remove 3, take 2 actions, roll something big out, and kill somebody.
Well, or
And you couldn't do that twice.
focus and resolve. It doesn't say you can't. Right?
Yeah.
2 focus resolve, right?
Is Tarkin? So is Tarkin's power action and Thrawn's? When you look at a card, is that considered a card effect? So do you
Yes.
get it for both of those guys?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's an effect on a card. So as long as it's not a die with a discard that does the discarding.
Yeah, a special is a die effect.
Yeah, for example, it's special. As long as it's not a discard side on a die.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, AAT. I'm curious to hear if you guys think this is going to see play or not, right? So this is a 4-drop sport vehicle, power action, spot a leader to roll this die in your pool. It's pretty good. But the sides are 3 for 1 resource, 3 for 1 indirect. You can't just say 3 for 1 anymore now. 4 for 1 indirect, disrupt, 2 shield, and a resource, so no blanks. It's a big die, and you can potentially roll it in twice. So I don't think it's a question of whether this is good or not. I think it's a question of whether there's better stuff.
You play it in a deck that runs the Separatist landing crafts. Tarkin Thrawn. I'm just gonna say that.
Even
again
if all
and
your
again.
droids are all the only ones left alive at the end.
I mean,
you can only
fair
roll it in
enough.
once.
Fair enough, but
Just run some bubble shields. Run some bubble shields.
run some bubble shields or whatever. I think as long as you have one of your leaders is still alive, it's worth playing. If none of them are alive before you play it, you don't play it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of there's the Dark Trooper, and there's a lot of 3-cost supports out there that are pretty. I mean, their dice aren't the same, but 3 to 4 is a big difference. So I'm curious if you'd rather run a bunch of 3s with tier 1.5 dice, or if you go for the 4 with a tier 1 die. I don't know. I guess like you say, it depends if you can roll it in twice or not, right?
It's also very important. This has no blanks, and it has a 2 shield side. So it is. I would rate it kind of similar to Fist in that regard. You're happy to see almost all of the sides when you roll it out, and you can roll it out twice. And that's even if you take the 4. I mean, the 4 indirect in that regard, or the 3, any of the 3 damage sides. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. You also have that spot a die, turn it to, spot a red character, turn the die to a cost that we were talking about earlier, and turn it to either a 3 or a 4 depending on your team lineup. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, Separatist supply ship. I don't think we need to talk about this one. We kind of already talked about it like a bunch. Right, this card is
good.
very good. It's very important to a lot of the other cards in this set. It's a staple, or it's not really a staple card. It's a functional card. It's a linchpin card. There we go. That's the right word.
If you can get rid of it, you should in a matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's one of those 3 drops I was referring to. So this is a tactical droid, support droid with a 2 indirect, 3 indirect for 1, focus, 2 focus for 1, 2 discard for 1, and a blank. All of those ones, or all those aforementioned ones, are indirect. PA, resolve one of your dice showing a cost, then turn one of your dice to a side showing a different symbol than that die. So, in this case, I think I might prefer to run, if I had to pick, would I run this over AAT? Probably. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's interesting. Especially since every droid we see, we have to think about what would Athra also do with it.
Yeah.
And we've lost a bunch of droids. We've lost the one-cost droid from the
stab.
starters.
Yeah, we
stab
lost the
droid.
stab. Yeah.
We lost the assassin droid.
But
So-
Assassin wasn't seeing play with Afra, even though that seemed good, right?
True, but some people tried it.
The Dark Trooper's been seeing a ton of play. This guy's been seeing, or this guy I think's right there with Dark Trooper. I don't know.
I think this is interesting because one thing that Aphra normally lacks is focus.
I was going to say the same thing.
And this guy has tons of it. I mean, example, you have your 2-for-1 focus showing on him, power action resolve it, turn 2 of your dice, and then you get to turn another die.
Yep.
I would say if you build a deck that can play this, you will be quite happy with it.
I think this is another die as well where if you have vicious tactics, you're always happy.
Yes.
Like 3 discard, 3 focus, ouch. 4 indirect, also
Yeah.
pretty hefty.
Yeah, this card is really good, I think. I don't know. We'll see what people do with it, but looks really good. All right, moving on to Uncompromising. So this is a 3-drop ability. 3-drop upgrade ability. While this upgrade is on a leader, it gains redeploy, which is kind of sweet. Redeploy ability. After you resolve this die, look at an opponent's hand and discard the card from it with the lowest cost. Boom. 2 gun, 1 focus, 2 discard, 2 resource, and a blank. This is a 3-drop upgrade, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls.
This card is insane.
This card is
Yeah,
bonkers
super
good.
Yeah.
Super good.
It is. I mean, general is 3 cost, right?
General's
It's
4.
No, General's
Oh, yeah.
4.
It's
4.
Oh,
yeah.
general's 4. All
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, every one of those sites basically comes with a free discard. So
Loving that 2 discard side and then into a 3rd. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take that each time.
This is
And
super
readable.
rough.
2 reads. I mean, yeah, this card is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Yep.
play this in your Tarkin throne and make your droids uncompromising
Oh,
when your leaders
man.
die.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that it has redeploy when you play leaders, that is probably the biggest
Super
thing.
good.
There's a chance of resolving this twice and just making your opponent cry while losing the entire hand.
Yeah.
Insanely good for 3.
And it's any resolution. I mean, this is
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I know that the title thing is that generally the 4-drop titles don't have a blank. I get
That's
it.
not a title.
What's that?
That's another key thing. It's an ability, right?
Oh
Not
well,
a title,
that's
so-
true. I mean, yeah, you can't
Yeah.
you are in command it, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
That would be insane. If
actually that's a
that is
good
my
point.
title.
Put this in concept of like a weapon. Like if we saw a weapon, like
Override.
you don't see weapons with these sides. Like
Yeah. You overwrite for this instantly if you can.
Yeah. And then you hit the 2 focus at, when they're sitting with 1
Oh,
card
yeah.
left, and then you make them get rid of their card and you focus in. Yeah, this thing's crazy. I love it.
Also, again, if you somehow you can, there's also a card you can include in certain hero builds with either Iden or IG. So there is some shenanigans you can do. Maybe even milling or in an Iden deck.
Oh yeah.
Maybe thinking about it because actually you have to have at least 2 leaders then, Iden and another red leader. So
Who could that be?
Hera or Wedge?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, no,
Well,
I mean, I know it's got the 2 gun on it, but this really screams mill to me, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, mill or at least mill and kill.
yeah.
Yeah. Krennic, Gideon.
Villain kill.
Krennic.
Mill and kill.
Yeah.
Krennic, you can.
Krennic
Krennic is
Still in,
scary.
right? Krennic's still in, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Oh, yeah.
play direct on him.
Oh,
Direct at
Krennic
first.
is a great call with this.
Yes.
Yeah, you play direct at
Oh, that's
first
scary.
and then later override for this.
Oh, that's scary. Because Krennic gets to flip to a die, or gets to flip when he comes in. Oh, but this
Flip
is a
to
2
those
discard.
resources
This is
and
a
then-
2 discard. But yeah, you can flip to his resources.
And then that's how you get to play it right away, right?
This
I
is
mean, you
gross, dude.
You don't care what you roll with this unless you roll the blank, obviously. But if it rolls the blank, you flip it to the 1 focus.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. Automatically get the 1 focus.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
the moment somebody makes this work, it will see quite some. It will have they will have a fun time with this.
Yep.
Oh,
It will take.
So is it going to be
some
Beacon
time-
or Rando Mando? That's the question.
I'll probably
Well, somebody
vote
who
Beacon.
likes to
I'll
either
vote
play
Beacon.
Mill or we'll
Looney
see.
over there, he'll be figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
All right. So next up is Aura Singh. I'm going to make a beer run. So Wookie, I'm going to put you in charge. Can you read out Aura Singh for us? And I'll be right back.
Aura Singh, Merciless Hunter, Love and Health. She has a 1 ranged, a 2 ranged, a 2 ranged, a 1 disrupt, a 1 resource, and a blank. Character, Bounty Hunter. Action, remove one of your dice to resolve one of this character's character dice, increasing its value by 1.
And she never asks for permission. It's also the old aura die.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, and I didn't say 10-13 for...
And that
Point.
old aura never saw any play, right?
She
Actually,
was way
did.
overcosted.
Actually, she did.
No. Yeah, at the beginning, basically, when she was released, and that in the first metas, she actually saw play because it was fairly strong what she could do for back then.
In the first Worlds, I think it was the second Worlds, she made Top Gun.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
back then it was just you have to discard a card from your hand to get the increase, and imagine that back in a meta where getting a tons of resources was pretty difficult, actually.
Yeah,
You
that's
get
true.
roll a 1 resource, you just... Or was it... It was any side back then, right?
You're talking
Rothian?
you're talking the old Aura Singh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she could boost anything, any side on her die.
Yeah, so back then she saw play in the first metas. And this one, I think, well, maybe not with Cat, because Cat is still awful for his cost, for his current cost. But maybe with another bounty hunter that might or might not be the next card. That we see already.
All right, fine. We'll cheat
Hold
forward.
on, I ran her today with Cad Bane, and it was pretty good, because if you get the Black Cell Station down with his ship, and then it wasn't bad. And then with the reprint list, I think it's the Holdout Blaster, being able to action them in. I didn't even get Cad's gun down, and I tore through one of the kids' decks with it. But I mean, it isn't too bad with Cad Bane. I'm sure, you know. What's that, Aura?
4 kids.
Yeah.
They're
It
into
was a
the
disaster.
Poor kids.
But yeah, I think she probably will see more play with the next character, because the next character looks scary.
Well, I did you guys talk about Pre-Vizsla? Because I think that's a really good deck too.
Oh yeah, Pre-Vizsla too.
Yeah.
Just any deck where you either have some pretty big damage size or you want to remove your own dice, which, to be fair, is Yellow Villain's new archetype. Remove your own dice to do shit.
Yeah.
And by doing shit, I mean do something and deal damage.
All right.
What's nice is hers is any die too. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, you can remove any die you have out. So you roll a blank with some upgrade, and you can pull that out and increase it. It works. It's pretty nice.
Like On the Hunt, which is back and an amazing upgrade, and it has the wrong modifier out for you, and you deal 1 indirect when you do it because you have Black Stall out.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. I'm super excited about this card. So this is Box.
Box. Yeah.
The Apex Predator. He lives in a box.
Oh man.
His
It's
ship
box.
does his ship does kind of look like a box with wings. All right.
Yeah, it does.
All right. So 2 gun, 3 melee, 4 indirect for a indirect. He has a resource and 2 blanks, 13, 16. He's got piloting, because why the hell not? Power action, move up to 2 damage from an opponent's character to another character. On demand, Relentless Pursuit, or Tireless Pursuit, depending on which meta you lived in.
He is the anti-Chewie in that regard.
Yes, he is.
Super excited about this card, man. We've been asking for Boss for a while in the Discord chats, and Lizard with a gun, he's back. Amazing.
Yeah.
That power action is ridiculous, because we on the reprint list, or is it Tireless Pursuit?
Oh, it's Relentless Pursuit and Tireless Pursuit did the same thing, but one of them, I forget which, required a bounty. I forget which, but
I think one of them also had ambush.
We have one of them, and I think we got the one with ambush, right? Relentless. Is it relentless? Anyway,
El Rathian would know. Is he still here? He's on a beer run.
All I know is
say,
move 2 and then move another 2. You know, with ambush, you can move forward the character and kill them all. It's crazy.
oh,
Especially
so
if you play a deck that has Black Stall and you're pinging some damage around, and he has the indirect damage as well. So you just ping some damage around, then suddenly boom, boom, move it all to one character and kill him.
Yeah.
Especially
Super good in
with
this
some of
meta.
especially since we got some new bounties, and one of them especially you want to kill off a character because what it can do, it might be a big play.
With all those damage cost dies out there, for him to just start moving that damage around to the target of your choice, super strong.
Yeah.
And again, another target for vicious tactics.
Oh,
It might be only a one side of his die, but just getting that for nothing increase for one.
Yeah, the only downside to playing Bosk is that you have to put your arms in your sleeves like this, so you have extra long forearms. Makes it a little hard to use the mouse.
And well, I don't have the stream open, so I can actually see.
I find it interesting in this set how they have used different damage sides to bring like the power of a character down. They did it with Previsla, they did it with Bo, and they did it with this. It's very interesting because it gives you the opportunity to remove. If they don't roll matching die, you get the chance to move stuff. Remove stuff before they get it off. I find that really interesting. Sometimes it's frustrating. But.
It also makes Power of the Tribe way freaking better, which was already good.
It does. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the Death Watch Mandalorian. So this is almost the same size as the old Commando, a Super Commando, except he has a resource instead of 2 shields. He is 8/11 for 9. While you control it, so character Trooper, while you control a leader, this character has Guardian. Whoa. After you remove this die, deal 1 indirect damage to opponent. So with Black Stall, it triggers twice. Well, it doesn't trigger twice, but you get 2 pings. After you remove this die. Very interesting.
And again, some amazing art that we can see here, this time from Cosmic Nute. And it is just so good.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to Nute because he always hooks me up. When I ask, he hooks me up with the transparent version, right? Because he does his layers, and then I can use them for my thumbnail art. So whenever somebody's playing this guy, it's going to get on the thumbnail for sure. So
if anybody had a chance to see this character in action during the streams, but it was played with Pre-Vesla and a 3-wide, and with Black Stall out turn 1, it was doing some serious work. So
yeah,
that's pretty scary.
I played it with a properly built deck on Echo Base, not with some stuff with Discord. Yeah.
Shots fired.
And I had Blackstar. I didn't have Blackstar until round 4, and it still did quite a lot because that you just get the value, from the Deathwatch Mandalorian because you play with Vesla. You get the shield, you ping an indirect. You have a card that removes your own die to do something, still ping an indirect. And since they're mostly have one sides, you don't lose any value really.
No, you just got to make sure you bring DM. Oh wait,
All I know is I was watching that Echo stream at work, and it was this deck with Pre-Visla and the 2 Death Watch, and he pulled out Discord, and I actually did a double take and had to lean in. I was like, "Are you really playing Discord?"
Yeah, I think that everybody, and I think Lando actually earlier told us about like how Rubble Traitor built that deck, built the decks, most of them, and he was like, afterwards was like, did it work with the Discord? And Lan was like, no. What did you expect? Of course it didn't. It just made everybody angry.
Oh man, it was too good.
All right, so speaking of Pre, he was actually the first card spoiled for the set, which was a while ago now, but he is, start with the Darksaber. I think he's best at 1 die, potentially great at 2 die, but I think he's going to see a lot of play. If he sees a lot of play, I think he's going to see a lot of it at 14. What do you guys think?
Also, very important, I think with him, normally would say you go for him, because he gets you that free Darksaber if you kill him. But if you play him with both of the Deathwatch bodies, you actually don't go for him first, because it's a pain to kill him. He gets the free shield from the dice you remove, and the die he has and the Darksaber are actually quite good. But if he's played with 2 Deathwatch Mandalorians who have Guardian, it is a mistake to go for him first, because they actually deal a lot of damage by removing their own
It's going to take
dice.
a long time to burn him down, especially at 13 health, like you said, with 2 Guardians. That's a tall hill to climb. So
Yeah, and I think it will be really interesting to see what kind of builds we will see. We've talked about Asajj with like a potential 7 die start if you get her Saber out round 1 with like a truce or whatever. Or you start with a high stakes plot maybe. There's so many interesting pairings here. Aura, we just had her. That would be interesting. Tarkin maybe.
Kind of want to try Seventh Sister. It's probably going to be terrible. But
Seventh Sister's 14 though, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. She's 14.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I am looking forward to trying him. I was running him with early in spoiler season with Second Sister, and then you could flip his die into whatever damage they have out and increase it by 2. But
that's actually
yeah. When Snoke was in the reprint list, we were testing him out with him, and that was pretty fun too. Yeah. Even at 17, right? So
Snoke was in the reprint list.
Yeah, the initial one. Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, so
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, 17,
the one
13.
we will never see again.
Yeah. That was a great vote, people. Great vote. All right, moving on. All right, Data Heist. This is spicy. So Data Heist, downgrade bounty intel, 0 drop, play only if you spot a spy or a bounty hunter. After attached character is defeated, reveal the top 4 cards of an opponent's deck. You may play a card revealed for free, spotting that opponent's cards as if they were yours. Bassmaster, you said you got this off earlier today?
Yes, that was I built a No Legions deck with 38 health. Which had Fennec and Grief. And yeah, this is very, very fun to use. And as I said earlier with Bosk, like if your opponent plays any small character, you put it on them and you get a free big card. I mean, there's a good chance among 4 cards that you find a good one. And this is, I mean, who knows actually from where this picture is. What is happening there?
Like Cad Bane stealing a Jedi holocron.
Exactly. Yes, it is from the Jedi holocron thing. It is, I think, in any deck that runs bounties. I mean, this also replaces what was the
Wanted or Deathmark were the 2 0 drops.
No. There's another one. The one
when you get to
cost.
play the weapon.
Oh, the enticing rewards, the 1 drop.
Enticing reward, yeah. It basically replaces that, and it's better, I would say.
Yeah, at 0 cost. I mean, really no risk.
I never played enticing reward.
Very few people did.
Yeah.
I got a
Hermesto,
rogue.
Maybe.
I think I got a rogue 2 off on this today. I pulled a rogue 2 off of it, but this is you know what, the bounties with the new bounty where you can draw a card. So Dead or Alive, drawing a card in this are pretty killer, because getting a card in a resource and then having this on whoever you're killing, and then it's nice.
Yeah. I what I did earlier, I drew an Amber blaster from this, and then I removed another die from the blaster. So there's some I mean, if you play this against a blue villain deck, there's a chance that you can pull a not death yet, that you can't play that really, but there's a chance that you can pull some interesting cards like a big removal card.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key here to take away is that the biggest bonus of being able to play it from their deck is that you're taking away their tool more so than you're getting a tool, right? So, I mean, in many cases. Don't get me wrong, a big die is awesome, but...
One question I have though for this card: the 4 cards that you reveal, if say for example you don't choose those cards, do they go back on top of the deck then, where you pulled them
Yes.
from?
Yeah,
okay.
so
Yeah, it's like the
revealing
most-
by definition does not change
Does not
game
change.
state.
Okay.
Like it's like what was it? It was the second Thrawn,
Yeah,
SOH Thrawn. It came up a lot with him. Yeah, because you have to put them
That's
back
why
in
it's an intel card.
have to put them back in the same order and everything because, well, you don't have to put them back in the same order because they never technically left that order. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But even if you pull nothing, you still know what they're going to get in their hand the next round. And so if there's a headstrong, you play that for free for nothing anyway and get rid of
Yeah.
it, right?
Right.
Or you
Yeah.
play something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever you can get. At worst, you're just going to get rid of some good card they might have that does nothing for you, but might have done something for them.
All right, moving on. So we're about a third of the way through. So I'm going to start moving us along on the non-important stuff here, or I shouldn't say non-important, but on the non-sexy. So 1-drop alternative method: spot a bounty hunter to deal indirect to an opponent equal to the difference in the number of cards in your hands to a maximum of 5. I think there's a build around there.
Hats to discard finally has a proper purpose in terms of killing people. Something he wants to do.
All right, for Mandalore, remove a character or upgrade die. Then roll one of your elite character's character or upgrade dice into your pool.
It is a bit ironic that he died like a minute and a half after yelling that. And fittingly, Pre-Whistler is not a good character to use this on.
True.
Fairly costed. I mean, you'd pay 1 to roll one of your dice back in, potentially, depending on what it is, and you'd also 1 for 1 when you remove, so it's decent.
Yep. I
That's
agree.
probably one of the cards I won't ever use. I can't bring
play-
the P2 for it.
If you play some kind of Bane with yellow, this is decent.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The die has to be worth it.
Has to be worth it.
Yeah.
All right, Lawless. Now this is a different discussion. So Lawless, 2-drop villain. Spot a yellow character to remove an opponent's die. Then force an opponent to choose and remove their dice until they have 3 or fewer dice in their pool.
Jedi mind trick, but for a yellow villain.
Yeah.
That's how I described it to the Echo Base team. Because they still get the choice of what they remove, so it's not ideal if they have only a few sides that they want to resolve. It's really good against the decks that just spam dice. They just spam a ton of dice, roll them all in, and have to re-roll them because they're not the best of dice. Then you just put this down and watch them cry. Same as Jedi Mind Trick.
Yep. I think this is a good like tech one of include type card. Jedi Mind Trick's a great analogy, actually. Yep. All right, Trick. 0-drop. The yellow villain event. Spot a yellow character and reveal a card from your hand to force an opponent to remove one of their dice showing a value equal to the cost of the revealed card.
This card is amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
This is going in your yellow deck. Yeah.
Auto include. Yeah.
Auto include. Yeah.
Because
it should be like reveal your whole hand or reveal 3 cards or something. Shoot, I'll show somebody a card and remove a die for free.
The balancing thing here is, of course, they get the choice, but we've seen it on the AIH stream with the Wiesler Mando decks. That if you have like a 3-cost in hand and they roll a 3-side, or they have only roll 1 2-side and you have a 2-cost in hand, you remove that. And the funny thing is, it's a 0-cost, so if you reveal like a headstrong, you're also playing that mind game of, see what I have in hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried
Yes,
this.
of course they do have the choice, but it's not really a great choice when you only roll out, say, 1-3 and reveal that 3. So see you later.
All right.
Yeah, I tried this card and it's fun to use and it's a decent card. And Willock was playing Admiral Akbar and he rolled out and he had 1 2-side and then I revealed a 2-cost card and got to remove the die that I wanted removed. So it's interesting, and yeah, I just think it's a really interesting and balanced card.
All right.
I won that way.
No, you didn't.
I did too
Oh,
with
you
that
did.
guy.
I can't remember.
Yeah, okay. All right, hunt and eliminate. Include, so it's a 0 plot. Include only if each character on your team is a unique bounty hunter. After you deal damage to a character with a bounty on it, exhaust this plot to force an opponent to choose and discard a card from their hand. That's rough, dude.
Love it. Auto
It's super
include
good.
on every bounty
Yeah.
hunter one. Hand hate. Yeah, it's great.
I'm always careful about net benefit stuff, like net benefit plots. This is not the worst one. I have a bit of a gripe with, especially one plot we will see later. I've seen this in action. It is good. It is good. I mean, it's just something you throw in. But I will also say bounties are not as bountiful as they were before. So it's actually a bit more difficult to play a big bounty deck. So it's good, but I wouldn't overestimate it. Especially since your opponent gets to choose.
Okay, hold on. I just got hot off the press. We just got the overlay from Cosmic Nute, who's actually watching the stream. So I want to put that right there, baby. Whoa, that's big. Okay.
No, that's big.
There we go.
I see it.
Love it. Thanks, Nute.
Nice.
Uh,
Just point the
I also
gun
like that-
at yourself, not at us.
I also like that my camera froze exactly in the moment where I look like I've just seen something really surprising off screen.
He's like, oh my god, that's a big gun.
What is
But Lance
that?
is not in the stream. There's nothing surprising here. Lance is not here. We're all good.
Your murder has been captured. Yeah, no, it's one of those things.
Oh
when
god,
you,
its lands are coming from off screen.
it looks like the Wookiee household just lost their internet. Oh well.
Oh no.
Its lands are his feet. They disturbed the internet again.
All right, Black Stall Station. I don't know that we need to spend much time on this because we've already talked about it in like every other card, but this card's pretty good.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's basically the card for new archetype in that regard. It's the key card. 2 off
Absolutely.
automatically if you build around it.
Yep. All right, this card also is phenomenal. Cad Bane's LL30. This is a 1-drop, 1 gun.
I think you snapped one. I think you skipped one.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
the Gauntlet
Fighter.
Fighter.
The Gauntlet Fighter. Let's see if I have another 40. Yep, I must have renamed them both 42 because it goes in numerical order.
Andrew was like, not interesting. Skip.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case though. So this is a 3-drop support vehicle. Hey man, I have to manually go grab all these and get them in order. All right. Gauntlet Fighter, 2/3 for 1 indirect, 2 shield, a resource, and a blank for 3 with ambush activate to support. You may remove one of your other dice to resolve this die. And throw an indirect across the table, because why not?
Yes, so you activate Deathwatch Mandalorian, you play this, activate it, roll a side you want to resolve, remove the Mandalorian dice, deal 2 indirect, and then do this. It's pretty good.
It's super good.
Yeah,
Built an action sheet.
it's another one of those cards in the long list of cards we talked about earlier about where your math starts to get a little bit messy. You're like, oh, but it rolls the 3.
Oh yeah, and the sides. Yeah, if you get to ambush,
Super good.
deal the 3, that's very good. Or just, it is also an engine, because it facilitates, you only have so many cards that remove your own dice, and this is just an engine that sits on your table that can you remove your own dice and trigger Black Stall Station,
Hmm.
which is also very important.
All right, now back to Cad Bane's LL30. So this is a 1-drop using the same die that used to cost 2 back in the day, but it did have redeploy back in the day. 1 gun, plus 2 gun, a shield, a special, and a blank. The special is deal 1 unblockable to a character. After you play this upgrade on CAD, you can spend 1 resource to make it elite. This card is freaking awesome, even if it's not on CAD, but it's super freaking awesome if it's on CAD.
If you thought Asajj lightsabers were better on her than regular 3-cost upgrade, here you have another weapon that is better than a regular 2-cost upgrade if on the specific character.
Yeah, if I'm running a range deck, I'd run this regardless. 4 damage size for 1 resource, that's fantastic.
You have like 2 to 4 damage that you can get out of it.
Yeah.
All right, skipping that or not skipping it. All right, the modified Relby V10. I don't know, Mike, if you're still on stream, probably not. But this used to be Mike's favorite gun back on the EAW days. This is using the old Relby die, 2 range, plus 3 range, 2 disrupt, a resource, and a blank. Not much on there, just a PA, just this tiny PA. Remove one of your dice to roll this die into your pool, and throw an indirect across the table because that's how we roll. This is good.
Yeah. Actually, I have to say, I have to play more with the Mandalorians. I have it as a one-off because I might not always play it, and I actually prefer playing cheaper stuff with them. But if you get it down, you're going to hurt your opponent a lot with this, especially if they remove it. Yeah, they remove it, just get it back.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be good, right? Because it's up against stuff like Pulse Cannon and stuff like that at the 3 slot. So,
yeah, you're most likely resolving pretty much any side on that die too. You wouldn't feel bad about it. The 2 disrupt is nothing to sneeze at too. So, really nice weapon.
Yeah, it was nice when you have a. Sorry, if you have a blank, if you got a blank out there and you don't have a card to reroll with, or you don't want to, you can pull this in or pull it in and roll this out. It's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you can remove this die to give Pri a shield or do something else.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Yep.
All right, Vicious Tactics. We've also referred to this one a bunch. Resolve one of your dice showing a cost, increasing its value by the cost showing on it. This one was spoiled by MyFire Videos. All right, now this one's a new one and very, very interesting. So, Elite Mercenary, support bounty hunter. This is Villain Gray. It's X gun, X melee, X indirect, X disrupt, X shield, and a blank, where X is equal to the number of resources you have to a maximum of 3. So it is a fluid ability, or fluid value.
It is a reminder of some of the old upgrades I think we had. There was the one where X was the amount of yellow characters you have. We've had the, what was it?
It was
pike,
gang up, and the speeder bay, launch bay.
Yeah, and the electropike that we had with like the bush decks, where it was like the specialty damage equal to the number of resources you have up to 3.
Yeah, that card never saw play. I mean, I guess most of those never. Gang up certainly never saw real play. So
no, it didn't.
There's a lot going on with this card,
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's dynamic is big, right? And it's something like, the number of cards in your hand being X is a value that gets worse as the turn goes on. And this one, you can play around, or you can disrupt them to make it worth nothing. There's a lot of interplay here, right?
Yeah, especially since it costs 2, so you have to really plan for playing it. Otherwise, you won't get anything out of it round 1. It won't. I probably say it won't see too much play, simply because it's really difficult to make it work effectively.
Yeah, the sequencing is interesting. You'd probably want to roll it out. Resources, obviously. Could get removed because your opponent still has their resources, obviously, at the beginning of the round. So it's a really interesting card.
You want at least 4 money, play it, and then have the 2 value. The problem with that is really how much money do you have to spend elsewhere? And would you rather actually spend that 4 money on something else, like like a bunch of, I don't know, TIE fighters, Outland TIE fighters, or something bigger.
Yeah, I don't know that you do need four. I mean, I don't know that you do need 4 resources in the instance you play it, right? Like, it's probably best being played like as one of your last actions in a round going into the next round, and then you can roll it out first and make them decide what they have to do, right? I mean, yeah. All right, moving on. Oh my God, this card. Where's Jay Danger? Jay Danger, man, you said you're gonna pop on for Blue Hero. Let's do this.
Sure.
All right, so Chirrut, Spiritual Warrior. So I was able to spoil this one. We talked about him a lot. We have one gun. Jay Danger, you on, man? He said he was going to pop in for Blue Hero.
Oh my God.
All right, Jay Danger gets first shot. Actually, well, yeah, I mean, he gets first shot on all these because he's popping in just for Blue Hero. So Chirrut 1 + 2, 2 melee + 3 melee resource blank. Cannot play blue abilities on him because seems fair. PA, turn one of your character dice to a blank. Sorry, turn one of your character dice showing a blank to a side with a value of 1 or to whatever you want if you spot bays. What do you think, Jay Danger?
I still remember when this first came out and people tried to make it work, and I think it could be good. I mean, that +3 is looking pretty sexy, but I just don't want to. Hopefully they don't fall into the same trap that the original versions did, where they're cool, they're great in Rogue One, but they make great drink coasters.
I have to say, very important here. I mean, Base is the partner for him, and we'll see later what Base does. I mean, Base enables this card. They need to be kind of played together.
Yeah.
But also, very important in this reprint list, Awakenings is a thing. We will also talk about Awakenings probably with a later card in Hero Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Awakenings is a thing. So if you play these two, play Awakenings, there's still you will have modifiers that will get stranded with them.
I still never understood why they have their original versions cost so much where you could never play them together. I've never understood that.
Yeah, that is weird.
Well, you need to remember, I highly suspect Awakenings and Spirit of Rebellion were designed as a single set and split. And back then, if you look at all of the auto pairings they had, they were all 3-dice starts, right? So Baze and Chirrut were designed to be played as a 3-dice start. Han and Leia were designed as, right? Han and Chewie were a 3-dice start. So it was just a different design of Destiny before they released it to us degenerates who decided to play 3-wide Phasma Bala Trooper, and then we went downhill from there, right? So
it's FFG being FFG.
I mean, just, when you design the game, you don't always see the loopholes in your designs. That's kind of the curse of how it works. So FFG being FFG was not being able to deliver product on time and killing the game before it started.
Whoa,
was FFG.
Whoa. It's ultra aggressive there, buddy.
Shots.
All right.
I ran Baze and Chirrut earlier today, and there is quite a few cards to have to sort through to try to pare down to 30 because there's a lot they can use. But I'll tell you what, Run to Safety works in here pretty good.
Oh man, yeah. Baze and Chirrut are like the new Raylo. New Raylo.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it works. It works really nice, and their power actions work well together. And it was pretty easy not to get too much stranded out there, especially if you're with some of the upgrades and stuff that are in there. I'm digging it, and Heroic Protector. That's pretty awesome with this deck too. So,
yeah, you have a bunch of stuff, and of course it's good that. Actually, it's very good that you can't play blue abilities on Chirrut because you can't play Dark on him.
Okay.
And there is some stuff like Chirrut stuff that you don't want to be able for him to play Jakai with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on to Mace Windu. So I got to get Jay Danger's take on this one. So this is the OG EAW dice. 2 melee, 4 melee for 1, shield, resource, and a blank. Can you remember when this used to cost 22 points?
Bro.
And he had 12 health?
Don't get me started.
No, that's what you're here for. That's literally what you're here for.
Like, come on. It's like, man, this mace is delicious. Who can I play with? How about a Padawan? What?
Rebel Trooper. That was the play.
Come on, bro.
right, so damage dealt by mace is unblockable. Just a reminder to out there that if you modify a die, that does still count as being unblockable, right? So a 2 base mace with a +3 Killian is 5 unblockable. Suck it. Power action, resolve one of this character's dice showing damage. If a character is defeated this way, you may turn that die to your pool showing the same side and resolve it again for free. Also suck it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, you could play Mace with Jedi Guardian. Or is it Jedi Sentinel? The one with the guard, and he had like, was it 2 melee? Was it 1 melee, 2 melee?
The one that got a shield?
Yeah. God, I can't remember.
Worst version of the Jedi Knight we have now.
Oh, the Jedi cow?
No. This is
the one we had before. There was a Jedi Sentinel, basically.
Yeah, I think it's Spirit Rebellion.
Yeah, that costs 10, I think.
Oh. No,
yeah,
that must have been.
They basically did the same as the Jedi cow, just less of it. Just worse. So
Yeah, all I can say is you need United We Stand with this man. That has to be played.
You definitely need to protect this dice because
Jedi Temple Guard.
Oh, you're talking back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
yeah, that's what I come here for. I just
gotcha.
come here to like bring up like old stuff. And it's like, hey, remember back in the day when you used to suck ass because of Vipro Blade?
But yeah, this mace, he is dangerous. I mean, he's probably also one of the cards that AIH will keep an eye on, see how consistent
Is
he
he Johnny
will be.
Dangerous though?
No, I was gonna say for real with this guy, I would honestly truly go find like the biggest shield hoarder you can find and trade him up with mace, like Leia. Can Leia do it at 1 die? What is her cost now? I've been at the loop for a minute.
Yeah, 1 die, 13,
yeah,
16.
just to get shields galore and just shield him up, and because he reminds me of like Territory with whole Vader, where you just want to protect him at all costs.
Or you go Ayla and play United.
Yeah, I was going to say your girl Ayla is still legal.
United.
So
yep.
And that pairing is that's pretty good, yes. And
she never should have went away.
Well, she rotated out.
We got your pairing ready for a release event there, Johnny.
What's that?
We got your pairing ready.
I know. Well, sorry, I had to step away from the game because I felt I was growing too toxic. So instead of being that guy dragging everybody down, I stepped away. But I'm glad Ayla's back.
Yeah,
and Snoke come back?
Snoke he came back for a hot minute, but Elrathian took him out back and finally put a bullet in his head. So
he gave him he gave him the old yeller. Good job, Elrathian. Get a real MVP.
He pulled a Kylo.
Wait. I need to disappear before he steals that Bill's taking a comeback.
but yeah, this mace, I think there will be an eye on him simply because of the danger. There's a danger of him just eliminating any white build that has any kind of small health character.
Yeah.
And due to United being around, I played against him with United around. It's just there's never a good opportunity to remove his dice.
Yeah,
because they're so dangerous.
You're running 2 contentious opportunities in his deck. You've got United, so it's coming back in 3 times on you. I'm interested to try him with the Arturo Mastery to see how it works with the shields and stuff like that. But I hate it because now you're paying attention because as soon as you get to 4 health left, which isn't normally what you're paying attention, but you're not worried about that much. But when you get down to only 4 health left, and you're taking 8, that I've done it a couple times, got it off a couple times. It's not as hard as you would think it is, and if you get contentious or United and they're coming back in, yeah, it's pretty.
Especially since there are cards later on that also work with your shields.
Oh yeah, and Shadows came back too. Yeah, see,
no, Shadows
they're gone again.
They're out.
They're gone again.
God damn it.
Yeah, Elrathian took both those out back and cracked him over his knee.
This is the worst game. This is why I went to Marvel Champions.
To be fair, it was good that they went out again because that was awful that they were.
Yeah, I imagine like with Jarkai, it just got ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, ancient lightsaber absolutely needed to go. There was no question there. Shoto could have maybe stayed.
Wait, why did you bring that back?
No, we didn't bring it back.
The community voted for it, so you
what?
Can,
don't listen to the community. Like the community is like, hey, Bill was
that's what we said. That is what the other half of people said. Don't listen to us.
No, don't do that. I've been saying it, and Dr. Fauci approved. Meal is the reason we got COVID-19.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You want
wait,
COVID-20? Keep playing Meal.
Wait, you're talking about Mill? Andrew, go to the next card.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No
all
one
right.
wanted the ARH's job at that point.
Well,
No
and-
one had
and-
the
I come here
responsibility.
to
And
bring
now,
facts.
and now that our Flit stream has been flagged because we were talking about COVID-19, so
Oh yeah, you're totally host.
Yeah,
Also-
gonna get demonetized now.
Yeah, demonetized.
All right,
Danger, you will
remember.
love the next card.
It was
All right, let me see what it
Palpatine
is.
so
that
I'm gonna get my
I
calm
love.
voice for this because we have to meditate, right? This is the patient Padawan. For 7, he has 8 health, 1 focus, 1 shield, 2 shields, resource, and a blank. Character Apprentice. After you resolve this die showing a shield, you may discard the top card of a deck. Pass on what have you have learned. Strength, mastery, but weakness, folly, failure also. Oh.
That's good. I mean, where was like OG Plo Koon when this guy was around? I'd have loved to have been a shield whore.
Wait, did he have
You
a
can
shield?
essentially turn him into a meal deck.
Well, did that Plo Koon have a shield side?
The old one, I thought he did. Or was it a focus?
He had one. I think he was 1-2. He was probably 1-2 focus shield resource because he was an early guy. All of the blue heroes
Yeah, the
had a shield
typical
side.
blue hero build out.
Yeah, he had
yeah.
one shield side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Mill. Yeah, top
Yeah.
deck Mill is
Like you trying to tell
getting
people,
quite a...
better stop it.
I played against Padme, who we will see later.
Padme would probably
with this
be a
guy.
great pick.
And
Padme, man.
Yeah,
And he's
Yeah, he
7.
is-
And he's 7.
Yeah.
yeah, he's 7. I had
Hey,
to kill him first because my opponent played blue stuff on him, so I just had to kick the patient Padawan in the face, and tell him stop meditating, go to work.
Wasn't this part of like God? What was that guy's name? Was it Rebel Trader that did like a 4-wide with Jedi Temple Guardian? Essentially, served the exact same purpose, just to be a shield whore for your meal guys.
Oh yeah, no, that was his OG vehicles deck. But yeah,
Yeah.
functionally, yeah. I lost that deck a lot back in real life. In real life, back when
This
we used to
guy-
just go outside.
I know.
This
Remember the
guy
old
with
days?
Also, very important, you can play 2 of him with Luminara and a plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to make you happy, J. Danger. Your girl Luminara is a mill whore now, so yeah.
God damn it! Please stop it.
So listen. So Gabe over there loves to play mill. So what I did was on the way home, I stopped at Farm and Fleet and picked up some horse paste, and I took it, and then I beat the
Nice.
crap out of him.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how
Get on
you
that
beat
Joe
Mill.
Rogan, baby.
This cast is going the wrong direction.
Oh yeah,
man.
Oh yeah, Andrew, you're definitely demonetized now, bro.
That's all right. Just like and subscribe, folks, and then we can all go down
Yeah.
together.
Please do, please do. Yeah, because he's gone. Mama Susan's gonna have a word with you after this stream.
But speaking of Plo Koon earlier, look who's also back, but in a bit different form.
So
Oh.
yeah, this card, I'm actually scared about this card.
Me
So
too.
Plo Koon,
Hmm.
10-13,
Super
10-13 blue hero with 11 health, character Jedi pilot, gun, 2 gun, plus 2 gun, shield and 2 shield and a blank. And let me head off the whole, oh, but he doesn't have a resource side bullshit, which is always the answer. This
don't
guy's phenomenal.
Don't
Yeah.
need it.
Piloting.
Power action. Don't need that resource.
Piloting, power action. Remove 1 shield from one of your pirates to play, not your pirates, your pilots to play a vehicle from your hand, decreasing its cost by 1. Yeah, that's why Home Slice doesn't have a resource side.
No, that's pretty dope.
There's the resource.
Yeah, matter of fact, I thought cats were running him in X-Wing pretty heavily. 'Cause I remember, like, back at Worlds, back when you could meet people face to face, they were handing out his card, spot glass of the Plo Koon to the X-Wing cats.
Yeah. I mean, he might not have the big sides that Han had, the transformation Han, which was the old Han, basically.
Yeah.
But he has more consistent sides. And, I mean, he has shield sides. That's the thing. He wants shields anyway. And with pilots, you're going to play all pilots basically with him always. You have many ways to make shields.
Do they have like a like I said, I've been out of the loop for a minute. Did they ever bring back like a blue ship? I remember they had one before with was it Legacies
His,
with like
he's got a ship in this set that we'll see in a bit.
okay, good.
Yeah, stick
Okay,
around.
okay.
You will see it in a moment.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I'm also scared of him.
But there's still
because
Luke's X-wing is still in, which is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm afraid of him a bit because I'm afraid he might become the blue Han for pilots here.
I think the same. I mean, functionally, Luke was never great, but he still kind of floated in like that fringe, like 1.5 tier range where he could always just like, you know, show up to a tournament and kind of do some really good things because he has a bunch of guns, and like Plo's better on every account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
mean,
wouldn't say every account. He is not as good at pushing damage, but instead he gives you ramp, which you actually want really a lot with all those vehicles going around. You have a lot of vehicles around.
Yeah, I mean, I'll trade one damage. I'll trade one damage for one resource. Well, I mean, it's not a straight trade though because you have to have a shield. That's fair, but I don't know.
You got to think
This
about
guy's good.
the pairing opportunities. Like pairing with Dak, getting that shield off activation from him. You can pair him with Han, Transformation Han, and play Stay Ahead. You can go with Dak.
Wait a minute, Han's still around?
Transformation
Han's
is
still
still legal.
Transformation,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
But he got
Transformation
increased. He
Han.
got a point increase.
You got to, yeah.
And even with that point increase, playing with Plo, that 13 cost blue pilot, I think, opens up so many doors for deck building and just
So
the
wait a minute,
possibilities
was
with this guy. Or
And you're playing this guy like in something you're trying to do weird with like the red plot we'll see later. Like you're playing this guy single die and you're okay with that, right? I mean,
absolutely,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was running. Iden. It was you bring in Iden, Plo Koon, and Wedge, and then you can run the Ace Pilots with it.
Right.
The Ace Pilots plot, and then you also get separate a supply ship. So you're decreasing the cost here, you're decreasing the cost there to drop ships. Yeah. I don't know if it's any good. We'll find out.
I don't. I mean, that's fair. That's completely fair. But I'm really scared about this guy. He looks really good.
Him and Dash. I'm kind of interested about him and Dash.
oh yeah,
Because
that's
there's
a great
another
pairing,
one
too.
of those. There's another one of those cards that's like spot yellow and do something with blue or something like that. I don't think
Give a character a shield. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, plus, like,
Thankfully,
this
we
Plo Koon
lost
isn't getting
Instigate.
molested by the Ewoks.
Yeah,
Wait,
good
what was
thing we
that?
don't have infinite.
No, see, back in the day, I remember Plo Koon running around with the Ewoks. I'm like, oh, hey, remember the Padawans? He's like, yeah, screw those guys. I'm kicking it with the Ewoks now.
Oh, that's
yeah. It was the actor activate ability, right? So you do a ton of
Yeah,
I'm just
interactive.
gonna
Ewoks,
stand
yeah.
up and just kill you.
That just
Just standing up.
Slow walks.
disgusting.
all right. I could spend hours on this guy, but we don't have hours. I mean, we do, but not for that. All right. As the Force wills it, we've spoiled this. So renew one, spot a blue character to choose a die showing a blank. That die cannot be rolled this round. Kind of a very cool functional card. This one's been out for a while. We'll kind of move on there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so they did bring in Renew. All right, good. Good.
Yeah, I like Renew a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot. One for Deep Meditation. Turn an opponent's die to any side, then discard cards from the top of a deck equal to the value showing on that die. What was the name of the card that functionally did that? It was a reroll or something, though, right?
And fresh start.
Fresh
I
start.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's fresh start. I think it was one of your dice or something like that. That was also 2 cost.
Oh yeah. I think it was in the same set as Clever Distraction. I think.
That's the one.
Fresh
I
start
think you
was
just
remove
need
a character die and discard the top cards of a deck equal to the value.
Which
And
card
it
is
was a
that?
2 cost.
Fresh start.
It is Fresh Start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
it
2
was,
cost. Yeah.
it was Covert mission.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Still around. Yeah.
All right, this one, huge shout out to the Echo Boys. This was really well played. So, well played. Echo 3 to Echo 7 coming in. For 1 blue event, choose a character die. Turn another character die to a side showing the same value, same symbol and value as that die. Then spot a yellow character to give a character 1 shield. Bo-Katan loves this. Loves this. Anything else? Okay,
Kiko
cool.
39.
Artwork is fantastic.
Yeah.
Kiko
Thematically
39
super cool.
Kiko 39 in the Echo base will love this card with his Big Daddy Luke Queel deck.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's a good point. I've been hot on Bo and what's his name? Not Plo. The other guy that's like Plo. Key. There we go. Key.
Oh, with Cam. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Bo Kiadimundi. All right, so here's a new one. So 0, fear nothing. Renew 1. Give a blue character 1 shield. If this card was played from the discard pile, draw a card. So Ki gets 2 shields for 1 and draws a card. Oh.
Yeah, and it's basically, well, it's basically a slightly different On Guard. They do similar things, slightly different, with a few different purposes. This one doesn't have ambush. This one has renew, so you can play it again. Probably, normally you can only give blue characters a shield with this one. You normally include this one probably now from now on.
I think you only play this if it's Ki, but maybe not. I don't know. Just that double value. I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's good because I think you also included, like, if you find a slot, you can include it because it's 0 cost. You get a free shield, and then you can use it later again if you have the money to spend. Just if you need that 1 shield again.
All right.
I think what I'm finding is that there's so many good cards that you can't. You end up not having. Like, oh, I want to include this, but then you end up not including it because there's so many other stuff that you could include too. Maybe a one-off, and then bring it back.
All right, I don't need luck. So blue hero event. Spot 2 of your dice showing a blank to turn each of those dice to any side.
Ironically, you need some bad luck before you can use it.
Well, there's a number of upgrades out there right now or not it right now, but there's a number of upgrades in this set that have 3 blanks. And they have, it's like a 3/3/3 blank, blank, blank.
Not sure how much play this one will see. Functionally, for 1 resource, spotting 2, you have to spot the 2 exactly, right? So, very, very niche situation. So
well, you could spot 3 though. You could spot 3.
True.
Yeah. I mean, well, you don't spot 3, but you could have more than 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but the often the case will be where you have a bunch of dice that you rolled, and maybe 4 of them don't show the symbols that you want. 2 of them might be blank. Yes, you could have this in your deck to use it then, but most of the time you won't, and you just use a card to reroll those 4 dice instead of just turning 2 dice. Yeah. That is probably what's going to happen, and why people won't include this one, really.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Although it might work in like a Hondo deck, like a Hondo Marin with no allegiances or something like that, where you can.
It's hero, so you can't include it. Just
yeah, true. Yep,
it's very niche.
All right, I have you activate 2 of your characters that do not share a color, then give one of those characters 2 shields. So it's whatever it was, Loth Wolf Bond, but different.
Yep.
All right, this card is cool. I like this card. So 0 cost Restore has Renew 1. Remove 1 of your blue character dice to heal 2 damage from that character. So it's a pacify, kinda. It has to be yours, though. You can't use it defensively, but it has Renew and gives blue hero healing.
Mm-hmm.
Seems pretty functional to me.
Yep.
Yeah, very good.
Again, this will be one of those cards where you have to see if it can find a spot in your deck. Because there are so many. That is the problem I've had with looking at blue hero decks to build. There's so many events and so much stuff that you can put in. I thought about this one, but then I was like, probably not going to happen. I'm not going to find a slot. So it's a good card, but it also shows us how many tools we have for each kind of archetype right now that you have to really think about. Even cards like these, where they are just good, if you can find a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And with Kiadimundi, I mean, I could see it in that because you're getting a 3 health swing. Yeah, you're getting a 3 health swing there.
Yeah,
Monday loves this card
out of the pile. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, and then J Danger said he had to go somewhere, but Plo Koon's Starfighter for 2 gun, 3 gun for 1, disrupt, shield, resource, and a blank. That is a Way of the Force parallel die. Support vehicle. After the support is piloted for the first time each round, you may give 1 shield to a red character, or if it is piloted by Plo, you may give 1 shield to any character instead.
Oh man, remember the time when blue hero vehicles were actually just awful and unplayable, and just nothing, not worth anything. And now we have this. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is just like a legit. I think it's just a legit vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But you played with Pro, obviously. You drop it for 1 with him, and then you get your shield back.
Yeah,
And
totally.
for 2, the dice isn't amazing because of the cost side. But it's alright, because you will drop it for 1.
This is how Vika would analyze this card. This card has 2 dice. It's normal dice. And a dice with 6 shield sides, which has ambush and auto resolves.
Yeah, basically.
Yep. I mean, I'm not quoting that exactly, but I mean, I agree. It's you're not playing this for this die is all +1 value, right? So it's a 3, it's a 4 for 1, it's a 2, it's a 2, it's a 1, right?
Yep.
All right, Sentinel lightsaber. So 2 drop, 1 + 2 shield, special, and a blank. After you play this upgrade, you may give a character 1 shield. Special, exhaust this upgrade, resolve 1 of your dice showing a shield without removing it from your pool. Reroll this die instead of removing it. This is also a Nute art.
Yeah. Also, Tiny
A
Grievous.
nude art.
Tiny Grievous. Like it.
To clarify, that's a cosmic Nute art, not a nude art.
Not a new dot of Tiny Grievous.
I gotta say, when I first saw this, that I was kind of like meh, and then I started thinking about it, and then you start like, if you can use it with Arturu mastery, it could get Taru. It starts to get nasty because not only are you given a shield, but then if you can hit that special, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but it's growing on me, and I'm thinking I might start using this.
It's basically, if you don't care about if you don't, the special, if you have the dice to use it with, this is better than the Jedi lightsaber, because at least you want this to stick around. Actually, this is a 2-drop Jedi lightsaber that you actually want to stick around because of the special.
Yeah. All I know is I have a life mission to make Reiko good, right? And I'm always trying to find something to play with him. And Reiko has a 2 shield side, and I was like, ooh, this might work on him. So I'll probably make another Reiko trash deck that won't win anything. But
Yeah, you have Luke, you have Leia, old Luke, Master Luke, you have Leia, you have Qui-Gon,
yeah,
you have Luminara, you have a bunch of 2 shield sides where you're just happy to get this special, resolve the shield side, and then see what else you can do.
roll it back in. Yeah.
I mean,
And then
I think this is Master Luke all the way, right? But yeah.
So you have to remember, you can't resolve that shield. You have to resolve that shield as a shield. You can't resolve it as melee with Luke.
Yeah, but you get 2 shields and then you have 2 melee. In the pool.
Obviously, yeah.
All right, Yoda's teachings. So throwback to OG Legacies Yoda. So 2 drop upgrade ability, play only if you spot a blue. Does not have to go on a blue. 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource. Special, blank. Choose and do 2 of the following. Gain a resource, give a character a shield, discard the top card of a deck, turn 1 of your dice to any side. This was spoiled by Joe Cologne of the Hyperloops.
Yep.
It's a card?
It's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
yeah,
It seems pretty good.
It's also a reason why we never will see Yoda again, because no way he and this is stay in the same meta.
Oh, we have Big Yoda anyway right now, right? So
I mean, yeah, obviously, but the old Yoda, the Legacies Yoda, we will never see him again. I think as long as this is around.
And the thing is about this thing, is it's not unique, so you can play 2 of them on 1 character.
And probably you're going to play it. Yeah, also play only if you spot a blue character, so you can play it on anybody as long as you have somebody who's blue. And you're probably going to play it for 1 because of some card we may see in the neutrals.
yeah.
all right, hold
It's
your
kind of
bridges. All right, here we go. It's what we've been waiting for. It's what I've been waiting for. Baze Malvis, Devoted Guardian. So somebody was telling me he is actually an assassin. I thought he was a Guardian of the Wills. What's the...
I mean, he became one.
Became an assassin or became a Guardian of the Wills?
A Guardian. I don't know. I think he was an assassin beforehand.
What kind of assassin? Like, he's got like this big backpack machine gun. Like, how assassin-y is that? Like, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna come through the window with my giant machine gun. Like, whatever.
Well, let's look at the wiki then.
Oh, Black Kirstan or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Okay. So he was once a member of the Guardians of the Worlds, but then became a freelance assassin.
Well,
So basically, he still kind of was a Guardian of the Worlds, but also became an assassin.
So if you need to kill anybody who's standing in the middle of a field, you call Baze.
Yes, exactly.
All right,
Yeah,
so Baze,
basically.
devoted Guardian, 12, 15, 12, 1 gun, 2 gun, plus 3 gun, 2 shield, a resource, and a blank. So not a parallel die there. Keep in mind, Churret was not a parallel die either. This guy is Guardian. Power action, spend 1 resource or spot Churret to resolve one of your dice showing a modifier as if it did not have a modifier. Both of them have plus 3 modifiers.
Yep. Well, going back to your point, you're asking, like, what kind of assassin was from with a big machine gun and a backpack. Have you played any of the Assassin's Creed games? There is no assassinating. You just go around and start shooting people and stabbing people in the face. That's not very assassiny. So he fits right in there.
Well, in my days as assassin, I snuck around. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
As you're supposed to.
Right.
No, I like this. They kind of use like the Raylo template, 15-15. I mean, will they have their own? Do they have a plot that goes with them like Raylo?
No.
They do not.
No. Okay.
I mean, that's how they could have
interesting.
gone, right? They could have both been like
Yeah.
16 with a -2 or something. But no, I mean, they fit together, and I don't think there's a plot that works with them. Is there?
What I would have really loved if they had either had the title Guardian of the Worlds in the rebuild list, or did some kind of mirror of what you did with your what was it called again?
Oh, the counterpart set.
Yeah, but with that plot where you have like, I don't know, include only if you have only partisans on your team. You start with a Guardian of the Worlds.
Or build Guardian Citizen Will to like a zero cost plot again, like Raylo, and build that into it.
Yeah, the problem with Guardian of the Wills, the way I was trying to use it was them getting it for free. People would just use it for an overwrite. So yeah, and they solved that with Pre-Vizsla. They did a really good job on Pre-Vizsla with that, with making it non-overwritable. But I was trying to use an existing card, right? So you can't do that.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, but I also asked, like, I really would have loved if they had brought that back. But they also have the handcrafted lightbow, which you shouldn't underestimate for its cost. It's pretty brutal, especially.
Oh God, handcrafted light.
Right.
That's so many games.
Yeah, with as many shields as we've seen around around in the set, the handcrafted lightbow, I feel, will do a lot of damage when it's on the field.
Literally and figuratively. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to these guys. All right, Cody. Yeah. So here's what I need you guys to convince me why Cody is good. Everybody tells me he's good and I don't get it. So
because he's Cody.
Yeah, well, fair enough. And he pairs with Rex, so we'll see in a second. But Cody, Ardent Commander, 14-17 for 12, which is not that great anymore, right, from a health standpoint. So 2, 2, 3 indirect, shield, resource, and a blank. Character leader, trooper, obviously. At the start of the round or when the battlefield changes control, if you control the battlefield, draw a card. Power action, discard a card from your hand to turn a trooper die to any side. So one more thing I want to note on the, there's seizing territory and all those cards will let you steal the battlefield. If you do that, you play it it's effectively just a card that lets you draw in this case, right? I mean, plus any other battlefield stuff. So, all right. So convince me why this guy's, I'm not saying he's bad, but convince me why he's better than other 17s.
Not for 17. Hell no.
As long as you control the battlefield, you have a 6-card hand at the start of the round.
And if you have Cyber Center, it's 7 card.
Yeah. Well,
but you have to claim Cyber Center though.
You got to claim, yeah.
Yes. Then he has an auto focus. Every card in your hand is an automatic focus for Trooper Die, which he has pretty big sides for. I mean, he's just 1 shy in terms of damage on the Jin, and Jin is pretty good in terms of damage sides.
But she wasn't until we could start paralyzing hands, though, right? So Jin's damage sides were not good enough to make Jin good.
Well,
that's
it was also
my thing,
because she
right?
didn't have a good partner. She didn't have a good partner.
Or is it because Cassian was really bad?
Yeah, Cassian. I mean, the partners she had were really, really bad. And I
hostile.
think Cody with 17 has a number of good partners, like Rex, who we'll see in a moment.
Yeah, but
And
yeah, I mean,
every character, and especially that is less his personal thing, but we will see in the neutrals the plot I have a bit of a gripe with, which gives troopers a really big boost, from my point of view. Here alone, I think for 17 is decent because it gives you the card advantage, he gives you the focus, and with a partner like Rex, you have actually some nice synergy.
all right, let's
I
go
do
check
have a
out.
gotta say,
question,
I was
Are,
quite shocked when I saw him at 17, but yeah.
I mean, the
Are
argument-
Hera and Sabine still out of a job?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they could be good partners for him, but then employment line. Thanks, Han.
No, Han's 14 now though.
Han's 14, so
Yeah, you can't play Han with him.
Yeah, but they're still unemployed.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't think it has anything to do with Han though.
yeah.
Hera
Can't blame Han.
might be around with this set a bit because you have an interesting plot you will see in a bit. I think if you stay
Okay.
around for the red neutrals.
All right, so
Is the armor-
we skipped one, but since we're talking Rex, I just wanted to bring him in. So he's using the OG Rex die, which is 1, 2, 2 interact, a focus, a resource, and a blank. So the clone trooper die plus the focus. Character leader trooper, obviously 10, 13 for 11. Do you remember the old Rex had actually been balanced to 10, 13, so we'd had him in the meta for a while. At the first, go ahead.
Is he not still in, or did he rotate out? Didn't they keep him in?
Oh, did they?
Is that who?
Did they?
Is OG Rex? He's not still in reprint.
No.
leader, is he?
No, he isn't, right?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
He rotated. He went out on
You gone.
I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for them to bring him back at the
Yeah,
same point
that
cost.
was
and
what I was thinking. Yeah.
yeah. After the first time you play a red weapon, equipment, or vehicle this round, you may take control of the battlefield. So you've got those two as kind of your auto pair. I mean, it's fun. It's clone troopers on the table, right? So
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, he does something decent. Leader trooper again. So you have 2 leaders. So if anything that you have requires you to spot a leader, you're set.
But Millcamp's gone, right? Conscript Squad's gone, which really hurt me. That hurt me, Alrathia, and it hurt me.
Oh yeah. Oh, the concerts. That was so good.
But maybe there are other things that you, with a little bit of money, could take the place.
All right, let's get this guy in the middle, because this guy does not deserve to be skipped. This guy is also scary.
Who is this?
Well, where's Snake? Oh, we lost Snake. All right.
Snake!
Republic Senator,
Snake.
9/11, red character leader. 1 focus, 2 focus, shield, resource, and a blank. Power action. Play an event from your hand to discard a random card from an opponent's hand. Wow.
There is
So
no
he put
civility.
what's
Only
his face out of a
politics.
job.
Who's-
Organa. Bale. Do you think
Bale.
What's
Do you think he
Bale's
puts Bale out of a job?
Bale
Well,
never was. a
Bale
milk
kind of had a different job, right? Which
Yeah,
is to play
Bale
titles
had-
on your big
Bale-
guys.
Bale also has 1 more health, is 9/12, and is for ramping titles. And his die, he has a really good special.
This guy's crazy good though, right? 9 for 9. There's no way you play this guy elite. There's just no way.
No.
And you
Hey,
see,
you know what? This could have been Mon Mothma. Why don't
It
we
is
bring
the
her
Mon
back?
oh, there you go. That actually.
It is the Mon Mothma die, by the way.
Oh, it is it.
It is. There's a bunch of parallel dies that are not marked as such simply because the art and stuff is so different.
Yeah. Man, be nice to see another
This
Mon
is,
Mothma.
this is the Mon Mothma die.
Now that's a die I wouldn't have even recognized because I rolled that die 0 times in my career.
Yeah.
Hey, man, she worked with hired guns, baby.
J Danger's secret love affair with Mon Mothma.
This guy's really
A lot of Bothians died to bring this die to you.
But it's also important to note, this is one of the few means that Mill basically has to get rid of cards in hand. It is
Yeah.
they can no longer just roll a bunch of this big discard sides and get rid of the entire hand like back in the old layer days, Way of the Force layer.
Well, isn't so that
God.
that apprentice dude, he does things, and then isn't the upgrade? What was the blue guy who was in like 2.5 minutes of the very first last trilogy movie, who like got shot by Kylo and all those guys? What the heck was that
Lor
guy's name?
San Tekka?
Thank you, Lor San, and his upgrade, the one where like you look at the top 2 of their deck and make them draw 1. Or
Lore
something
Hunter?
Like that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe
that's still
there
legal,
will be
right?
some.
That was
Yeah,
Spark
I
of
mean,
Hope.
maybe
I think,
there
right?
will be something like that,
No,
but
there you go.
the thing, I mean, there's still the thing that most of they have a lot of tools for getting rid of cards in the deck, but only a few tools to get rid of cards in your hand, and they are very slow.
Yeah, this one though,
So-
like
Yeah.
you're doing, like, because it doesn't slow you down. It's a power action.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were going to play an event to remove something, it doesn't slow you down. You just power action. You play the event anyway, which you were going to do anyway, and then you get.
Yeah.
And like his die does not suck because you can use his focus side. You can use his money to buy stuff to mill with. You can use his focus sides to focus those things on sides to mill with. This guy's scary, dude.
Yeah, I thought that
Basically-
was like pretty much like the mirror split back in the day where a villain could hit hand but not deck, and the hero did the exact opposite. I mean, I like this guy even for just for either damage or mill or
Basically,
people support.
Blue Villain lost Dooku from AON, and Hero Red got some form of him, at least the mill part.
I want to try this guy with somebody who like a big blue character, like
Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon, and use him as a control, and then to ramp or to focus. It's kind of interesting. That would be really interesting. The first time I saw him, I thought, oh, this is just a mill. He's got COVID all over him. But I was thinking, now that I'm thinking about it, I'd like to try him with a big.
That's
You can
interesting,
run him with
right?
mace
Well,
for all the healing.
No,
and
because
the focus.
I mean you can, but I think the healing's a good point. I think I'm with them though. I think you want to try to run Mace Mono Blue so you can UWS, right? United We Stand. That's interesting
Qui-Gon.
with Qui-Gon though, right? Because Qui-Gon, we had played around with like the red Jarkai, where you we're calling it the John Wick deck. Shout out to my Dice of Failure boys, where you're playing like your DH guns or whatever, DL or whatever the heck it is these days. That was from El Rathian's set. But all those cheap play him with the guns. This guy would fit in perfectly, actually. Make you the money you need, give you the healing. That's an interesting
Especially-
idea.
On a jar, if Qui-Gon's Jark high. And he got focus.
I think the red Jarkai. That's interesting. All right, we got to
And he
move
knows how
on.
blue make money, so
We got
Also to clarify, Lore San Tekka rotated out.
Oh, he did. They were Convergence.
Yeah.
Oh, so Lore Hunter's gone too because they were in the same set, right?
I mean, he was Buns anyway. He was Buns in the movie. He was a Buns character. I'm glad he's gone.
All right, hold the line. Play only opponent has more dice in their pool than you have in yours. Remove an opponent's die. Pretty legit.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
maintain position. Give up to 2 of your characters 1 shield each. If you have a copy of Hold the Line 64 in your discard pile, you may give control of the battlefield to an opponent to give up to 2 of your characters 1 shield each. That is a run-on sentence. So, give up to 2 of your characters 1 shield. If you have already played the card we just looked at, you may give control of the battlefield to give up to 2 of your characters 1 shield each.
Yeah. That's basically, if you play Cody and Rex, that's an auto-include, obviously, of both.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just remove one of the dice, or maybe you discard Hold the Line at some point, and you just get 4 shields for 1.
Yeah, that doesn't stink.
All right, this is War, so another one of our multicolor cards. Spot a blue character and activate one of your red characters to remove a die not showing damage with a value of 1 or less. Okay.
It's been out for a while.
I dig this card.
Yeah.
This card's cool.
This is cool
Yeah.
for your Mace red that probably we won't run because you want to run DWS.
Yeah.
All right, here's a new one. So ATTE. So this is a support vehicle. There, he's back. All right, support vehicle. 2 gun, 2 indirect, shield resource special blank. Not that great of a die first take for a 3-drop.
Yeah.
Power action, resolve this die, re-rolling it instead of removing it. That doesn't suck. Special, deal 1 damage to each of an opponent's characters. So there's a little bit of AoE for you there.
Yep.
So effectively, kind of, this is a elite vehicle, right? That's really the way you need to think about it functionally, right?
Yeah. You kind of want to roll it in late in the round to kind of circumvent any mitigation.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
of the power is all in that one die.
Right.
It's decent. It's a vehicle. You can play it in pilots. So I would say
So
it's
where's
decent.
my hero's Vader's fist at? Still waiting on that.
Have you seen The Bad Batch? Are we there yet? Oh, here we are. Oh, I called that. All right, perfect. Here you go, J Danger. So The Bad Batch.
It's Zero's
Bad
Mega
Batch.
Blasters.
Well,
Only
that's
better.
it's megas, not fist. That's true.
What? What a robbery.
So one gun, 2 indirect, 1 shield, 2 shields, and a resource. After you activate the support, choose and do one of the following. If you spot a leader, you can choose and do one of the following again, which means that you don't have to choose the other. You can do the same one twice. Roll 1 set aside Clone Trooper into your pool, which remember is 1 gun, 2 indirect, resource blank blank. Or roll 1 set aside Rebel Engineer into your pool, which is focus, something, money, blank. I don't remember what the something is. Shield, probably.
Rebel Engineer, 100% of the time.
2 indirect, focus, money.
Oh, 2 indirect, focus, money. Okay.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, we're rolling that one in.
Better.
Yeah.
It's better than Mega Blasters actually, because the dice are better.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
engineer die is
yeah.
nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
That's really
No.
strong.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Bad
it
Batch die.
depends, though, right? The Engineer is your mid game. The clones are your end game. So
Yeah.
this is a really functional card. Like J Danger, you
Yeah.
should be salivating at this. This is a really good card.
No,
It's-
I'm still hurt from Sith Holocron, and I'm still hurt from Vader's fist.
Well,
And
this
Dooku
is
Silver
Heroes
Sailor.
Mega Blasters. This
Show
is
show
Heroes
me
Mega
on the
Blasters.
card. Show me on the card box where FFG touched you.
I will. I'm gonna write a whole tell-all book about how FFG has hosed me over the years of playing Destiny.
But yeah, this one, we will see a card in Hero Yellow, an event, a 0-cost event, that will make this one a lot more playable as it already is. And I see somebody nodding. You know which card I mean.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bad Batch is already really good. It's better than Mega Blasters. It is
Yeah.
unique, so you can have only one. But the stuff you get is better than what you would get with Mega Blasters.
All right, next
It's
card
nice.
up. This is the DC-15A Blaster Carbine, which is my favorite upgrade to put on my Clone Troopers in Legion, but not relevant here. So DC-15 Blaster, 2 gun, shield, resource, and a blank. Action, return this upgrade to your hand to use a claim ability or power action on the battlefield, even if it has been used this round. So that's really interesting. I don't know if that's good or not. It's interesting.
Play this with the Crate Ring there, and you have an end game finisher. Where you have 2 of these on your field, you roll out, resolve them, and then you action them and end the game with 4 indirect.
And you're talking the crate one, which is deal 2 indirect unless they pay you, right?
Yep.
I like
Or
it.
spend 1.
Spend 1, not pay you. Spend 1, yeah.
So if you play this with any kind of battlefield that could do damage or be some kind of finisher, I mean you could do mortars for all I care. And you basically, and since it doesn't have redeploy, but that's the thing. If the character who has it is about to die, you can action it, get it back into your hand, and get some extra value out of it.
Yeah, I think you're just hard pressed to play this over Westar. Like Westar's so good, but
It is, but I would play this with Wester actually. I wouldn't actually. I would play this since we have Armory. You can play it for 1. Same with Wester. I would put both as 2 offs in a deck with red heroes, and kind of forgo any 3 costs.
but
that you don't
Armory's
really
not limited just to red. Armory just uses the red character. It's anything
Yeah.
that's reduction.
But that's what I mean. Like if you play like red hero troopers, you put 2 of those with 2 of Westers, and you forgo most of the 3 costs because you can just pump in these dice, and you play some kind of battlefield that will give you, especially in late game, advantage, and you just use these to end the game in some way.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like it.
That's fair. Or yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I have to look what kind of battlefields we have that would be that impactful besides the Great Wrangler.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one I could think of is like drawing cards to. Well, no, because Cyber Center's one that lets you draw an extra card. Yeah, fair enough. All right, so
I might. Oh my god! If you have 2 of them, use Cyber Center twice. Get here too.
Yeah, but for 4 resources, I don't know, man.
I know. Obviously, you will resolve them a few times before you do that.
All right, med pack. This
Find
card's
a place in mill.
What's that?
Will it find a place in mill?
No. Command center's still legal. Yeah, probably not. Though.
I don't know. No. Okay, now we come to
Med pack.
Yeah, med pack. Go. You know what? I'm gonna tap out on this one. You guys can talk, and I'm gonna go refill my drink.
Andrew's favorite card.
This one is, I think, the reason why we will see some Akbar. And I don't like med pack because it's unneeded. We don't need it with the current reprint list. It's better than most of the healing options anyway.
Yeah.
I've seen it in action. I've played against, I think, 2 decks now that used it, and I don't like it because it's just constant healing.
If anything, it should be unique.
Well, yeah, it should. It shouldn't exist. That's the thing. The card is on.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. Like, say if it's got to be around, make it unique, because that's a ton of healing.
You won't have the 11 healing normally too often on just normal characters because if they're at 11, they could also be just dead. By the point you could heal them. But on somebody with high health like Akbar, Mando, Akbar especially, like an Akbar with Fortitude on him, that's 21 health.
Oh, so you're talking about early? You can put this on Qui-Gon Jinn. Keep him around a little bit longer, swing his lightsaber.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think this is like an auto-include in Akbar, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
It will make I think Akbar is already a grind, and this will just maybe make it impossible for decks that can't deal with his X-Wings.
And you're right, this takes the place of Wasaka Berry. I played it today, and I got rid of Wasaka Berry, and then you run this, and it's pretty tough because you're getting that. With the mod upgrade that gives you a shield on one of the X-Wings, you're getting the shield and this healing every time. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Well, you guys still have a restricted list, right?
The what?
Do you guys still have a restricted list?
I don't know.
Yes, we have a restricted.
Yeah,
well, we have bans.
Yeah, it's just a banned list now, right?
Yeah, it's the banned list. There haven't been any restricted pairings. Med Pack is probably also one that should, if they release any kind of watch list soon, that one should be on there definitely.
This is one I think I'd be better with if it was unique, but I'm really worried about it with Akbar.
I think this should have been one of the cards, given the current reprint list, where they should have put it off really, and chosen something else to put in the set right now, or just not done the reprint list as it is right now because there's just so much already with healing.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is we keep seeing health creep up and up and up, which is fine, right? But a card like this that has the static values, in 3 sets from now when your Bo-Katans have 15 health or whatever is pretty significant, right? So.
Yeah. And you don't have on the character to heal him either. So like that Senator and Qui, you could play that on the Senator and heal Qui-Gon, and he can keep his space for a Jark High.
Yeah. And this together with the later plot, the later red neutral plot, you'll see why I don't like that combo, and why those probably should be on the watch list simply because of the play experience they could.
Yeah.
I love the card with Anakin from Transformations too. Just negates his activation ability.
Maybe we should move on to something more. Maybe we should move on to something more enlightening and happier, because the next card is definitely a lot less vexing.
So Meber Gaxon. This was actually this was a really weird episode in Clone Wars, but it was kind of a fun one, right? So
an arc. Yeah, it's like that 3-episode arc.
Yeah, so upgrade leader mod, modify droid character or support, power action, resolve one of your droid dice as if it were showing a different symbol.
If you play Hero Afra, that's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this card called General that was pretty good when it let you do kind of that same thing.
Now you get a dude. A dude sitting in a droid.
Yep.
And it only costs 1.
To be fair, it's only droid dice. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
depending on what kind of droids you have out, it could be really good for ramp. That's true. Or for damage pushing.
All right, Bo-Katan. Oh man, I'm definitely playing her. If I'm able to play Saturday, I will definitely play her. So,
What's your pairing though? That's what I want to know.
I think I'm going to try with Kara, actually.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
Yep.
Play her with Sabine. Give Sabine something to do.
Try some Kiadi Mundi. Try some blue shenanigans.
Well, no, I think that's going to be like a real deck. I want to play something fun before we can't play stuff that's fun anymore.
You don't play the real stuff.
Yeah. I think that deck's going to be good. But, you know, so one thing we can talk about with her is we didn't really see any special flipping. We didn't see like a Cunning or a Moxie or anything in this set, which it's probably a good thing. But that is interesting.
Play Yoda's training, with Kiadi Mundi there and do your special training. Flipping. There you go.
Speaking of why we didn't want to see Cunning or Moxie, here's Padme. So Padme has her OG Awakenings dice, which also very rarely saw play. 2 focus, discard, shield, resource, special, blank, 12-15, power action, remove 3 resources from this card to play a set-aside diplomatic immunity for free.
For the first time it hits the board, ever.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, when I read this the first time, my head went to the Ewok card, the diplomatic protection, and I was like, well, that doesn't seem very good. Like, oh, wait, hold my beer. Special, discard the top 2 cards of a deck and place 1 resource on this plot. Yeah, so Bassmaster, I remember when this came out, we had the conversation about it pretty much not happening until round 3. I think that's pretty fair. The only exception is it doesn't have to be played on her, so you could, in theory, throw it on the partner.
That is something I played in Echo Base against, and it was her Elite, her Anakin, Little Annie, and Patient Padawan, and it was decent. It still lost. I still think she is alright, but won't be that successful. Simply because if you can control her dice, she is very much useless, and is only like a damage sponge. And I played a deck that wasn't really made to face Mill too much. It wasn't ideal to play against Mill for me. So we will see what people can come up with, but I'm saying she won't be too successful.
I was really scared about her, but has anybody come up with I was really scared about her, but I don't see a clear pairing with her yet. Has anybody else come up with anything?
Single die Republic Senator with a Jawa. I mean, if you want to go that route, you could do that. But really depends on how you. Yeah.
The problem with her is, as I said before, most of the power of their mill is in deck mill. She does have a single discard side, that is true. But you need at least one of the cards we will see later to hand mill, maybe the Senator. And if the opponent controls her dice, she really needs that diplomatic immunity. That shield, those shields are huge, and those will win you the game. But if they just remove one of her dice each round, yeah.
No, I think it's a fair point.
Did you come up with something, Gabe? What were you looking at today?
You're muted.
You're muted. Turn your mic on.
Sorry, I was doing Padme, Lumion Espionage, because Luminara does discards from hand.
No, didn't you have a rainbow one with the Padawan and Rebel Sniper?
No, I didn't build that.
Oh.
Because you just immediately go for Padme, and then it's basically the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can, because the Rebel Sniper could bring the hand hate, where you could get your discards from hand, but I don't know.
All right, Rebel Smuggler. So this is another non-unique elite. 1 gun, 2 gun, disrupt, discard, resource, and a blank. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the old smuggler, outlaw, smuggler, or whatever, Outer Rim, whatever he was. Character, pilot, scoundrel with 9 health. He has piloting, which is pretty freaking relevant at 9. After you resolve a vehicle die piloted by this character for the first time each round, gain 1 resource. This dude is good.
Yeah.
He's just a better
Super
rebel
good.
pilot.
True.
Is this my Rebel pairing?
I mean, bringing yellow in for 9 and trying to go wide for -1 on that plot. This guy seems really good.
Single die, Pro Coon, Elite Rebel Smuggler, and what was the other one? It was, I think, Wedge that Echo Free played against me privately and earlier, and he made tons of money. Not only with the Rebel Smuggler, but with the vehicles, and it was a pretty good pairing, just overall.
There's zero reason not to play Wedge, because Wedge should probably be a 10-13, right? So like you should play Wedge. If you're running pilots, you need to play Wedge, right? Like he's that good. Yeah. You want to know, J Danger? Are you still on? If you're looking,
I'm still here.
If you're looking who put Hera out of a job, it was Wedge. So yeah.
I mean, she was already in the unemployment line. You just put her to the back of the line now.
He beat her up outside and took her card of whatever your state acronym you want to use. But yeah.
Nice. Oh, Hera, you had such potential.
All right, moving on to Zeb. So I like this. This is creative because it's a reuse die, but it's not Zeb's die. It's his blaster die, which I think is really creative. So Zeb, Honorable Warrior, +2 range, +3 range, +2 melee, +3 melee, resource, and a blank. 11-14 character Spectre. After you resolve this die showing damage, you may draw a card. Oh, that's 2 card draws per round. And Homeboy has 13 health.
He needs something like a certain upgrade, neutral yellow, is both of, to pair this with, his modifiers with, but also Awakenings is a card.
Yeah.
So
is Turret Staff.
Yeah, Turret Staff. Or, to be honest, any low-cost upgrade you can just put him on him, and, you probably want to play him with Blow for Awakenings, because you really actually want Awakenings, I think, as long as it's in the Repent list with him. You probably want to pair him with Blow.
That's why you need Training Saber to come back.
And yeah, I mean, he's good. For 14, he's actually 13 health. People say he's really bad right now, like,
What?
he's terrible.
No.
Is there a Spectre build is that plot still available?
Yeah, the plot is still available.
CM.
You could play him Elite with single die Kanan and single die Hera. Don't know if that is worth it though. But I think as soon as someone makes a deck that makes him work, that's going to be a strong web deck. Simply because his damage sides are insane for his cost.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have anything for him yet, but he looks pretty spicy.
Yeah, he's one of those characters that he needs really some thought to make him work, but once you get to that point, he will be very, very strong.
Wait, how much is single die Hero?
9.
Hera's what, 9-12?
She's 9. Yep. Or is she actually? Is she 8-11 now? Did they?
No,
Did they drop?
she's 9.
She's still 9. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll start
Kanan is
complaining.
8 if you play with another Spectre.
Yeah, the Spectre Cell plot too, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the deck right there. To your Spectre, I mean, that at least gives either Hera time to get the ghosts out and start doing some things while Kanan tries to protect them, or gives Zeb time to get a weapon on him.
But
So you have to pick one or the other.
Zeb is pretty spicy, but the next card, I think, that one is really, really spicy.
All right. So a gift. Play a support with matching die from your hand, decreasing its cost by 2. Choose an opponent. That opponent may roll that support's die into their pool.
Or 0.
So why is this so spicy? Walk
Well,
us
for
walk
one,
us through it.
bad batch. You play it for 2. The opponent only gets the bad batch die. It's not a bad die, but obviously they don't get any of the extras. But if you want to be really spicy, you know what card you play with this? For 4? Rebel Hanger. Because they only get the Rebel Hanger die, which is not a good die for 6.
Pretty useless. Yeah.
And you get the other ones. It's important. It's very important to choose which support to play with this, because they could just keep the die and not resolve it. So you don't get anything from your play in that round. That is why I think those are really good options to use this with, because you get stuff out of it over which the opponent has no control.
Yeah,
I've already built a hanger deck with this.
Go ahead.
Like a
I thought of
hanger
Bad
deck.
Batch when I saw this, so you're right on the money there.
This actually gives me Delve Fist. I don't know what the
It's
right
not
word
that-
is, but
Hey,
It's
you
not
remember
that
those
bad.
days?
I think it's not that bad.
no,
simply
it's of
because-
course not that bad, but it's kind of the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
close,
I-
but
I-
the opponent's getting the die, right? So it's
Yeah, at best, I think the opponent will resolve it. If you use it on anything but like the Bad Batch or Rebel Hanger, the opponent will just resolve it and maybe deal you some damage. At worst, they will just keep the die. Maybe they roll to blank, and they will just say, "Well, it's just going to sit here, and you're not going to get, I don't know, your ATT or your whatever 4 cost you played." for
Yeah,
2.
that's a good point about sitting on it.
Yeah.
All right, Strike a Deal, number 77. We've seen that. Remove a die showing a value of 1 or more. Then each opponent gains resources equal to half that. It's this really solid filler card. It's a good... It'll find its place in some decks, not many, but it serves its purpose. All right, so this one's interesting. So Swift, gain 2 actions. You cannot take the Resolve dice action this turn. Right, so remember that your actions happen within your turn, just for everybody out there. So my question is it worth playing an action cheat card if you can't actually cheat?
You can still resolve dice through cards. So maybe there's some play.
mhm.
You can also use. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
There might be some cards which let you gain money for a mover you need. You could... Well, there are probably some combos that you could do there.
You can
I
also.
think Focus Fire is still around, right? So gain 2 actions and use Focus Fire to go ahead and
Or
Pump an
focus
opponent
and then
for-
use focus fire.
yeah, you got it.
And remember,
With the dash-
Bo-Katan's on this, and I don't think it's an accident because she has her power action, right? So
Yeah. Also, you could dash it if you want to be really efficient and get 3 actions out of it.
I didn't think of that. I
Yeah.
didn't think of that.
Yeah, I don't know what you will do with those 3 actions, really, but since you can't resolve any dice.
Controlled chaos.
But maybe there's
Pass.
something.
Resolve. I don't know.
But you could resolve the dice with dashes, right? Ambush. So if you were to play something and play something else, or and work it that way, then you could actually roll in, and then with dashes ambush, you could resolve.
No, because it's still on your turn.
Right?
It's still on
Yeah,
your turn.
it's still your turn.
Okay. Oh, action this turn. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
All right. This is also an interesting card. This card's really good. Defiant Uprising. So this is a 2-cost support. After you activate a blue or red character, you may activate this support. So it's kind of a Conscript Squad-esque. 1 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 3 indirect for a indirect, resource, and a blank. For 2.
Mhm.
It's a good die.
Yeah, for 2.
Super strong.
You might even think outside of just pairing with blue and red or just in yellow, you might think about playing it.
I think it's
Cost
just a
the dice.
straight functional
Absolutely.
good support. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, Mandalorian Vault. We saw this with Bo-Katan, spoiled on this channel. Discard the support that has 2 or more damage on it. Action, spot a blue character, exhaust the support and place 1 damage on it to remove a character die. Hence the key Eddie Mundy pairing with Bo-Katan.
Yep.
All right,
Super
New
good.
Base. This is a really creative title. I'm gonna throw it out there and say one of the Echo guys was responsible for this creativity because it sounds about up their alley. But new base support action exhaust the support to turn a die to a side showing the same symbol as another die showing a modifier because you get a new base. Oh, look at that pun! All right, this is pretty good with Zeb.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, interesting.
No, it's
I
like,
could see Mace Windu using this too. You know, get that unblockable going.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
I can definitely see, like, again, going back with the Spectre Cell stuff. This definitely help out. Again, like you said, with Zip, and I guess give Keenan a few more turns because he doesn't have enough ways to turn dice anymore.
All right, this one is also interesting to me. So this is Partisan Recruit. So this is a 2-drop support. Partisan keyword for whatever that's relevant to. This is actually using the Jedha Partisan die from Legacies, which is a 2 indirect, a disrupt, a discard, a resource, and a blank. You may distribute indirect damage dealt to yourself to this support as if it were a character with 3 health. Discard this support if it has 3 or more damage on it. So when you're taking those indirect pings for resolving all your costs, you can throw them on this guy. Jumps in front of indirect grenades for you, I guess. I don't know how that works, but...
Did the Jedha Partisan ever get used back in the day?
I used the snot out of him at one point for...
with Yoda.
Yeah, it was Yoda Partisan was actually
Yoda
a pretty
Partisan
legit mill
was
deck
really
in
good.
Legacies,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is essentially a bubble shield with a die, so it's pretty solid.
I was going to say Den of Thieves with a die.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Den of Thieves is pretty good, though. But
Oh, Bubble
you-
Shield. Ever misses
Can-
you.
no,
Can you
Bubble Shield's
overload it
legal.
like?
What do you say, Gabe?
Yeah, but not old Afra, though, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
done
no.
with her.
Old
Yeah,
Afra's.
thought so.
She died the death she deserved, which was to go out in fizzledness.
Seen enough for her. Yeah.
You know, she only just hung around for like the longest time, but you know, that's a story for a
So
different
broken.
day.
So broken.
What were you going to say, Gabe?
Can you overload? I think you were talking about
Yeah,
overload.
that's what I was gonna say. Can you overload it like Den of Thieves?
But this is only
Right, it's only
No,
indirect.
because it's indirect
No,
and it
you
has to
can't.
be placed. Yeah, you can't overkill indirect, or you can't over assign indirect.
Yeah, it's identical to a bubble shield. Same idea.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right, so this is the XS Freighter, kind of also a throwback to the XS Light or whatever it was. This is 2 drop support vehicle, 1 gun, 2 indirect, special blank. Before the support becomes activated by piloting, you may search your deck for a mod and play it on the support if able, decreasing its cost by 1. Shuffle your deck. Special, roll a die on it. Roll a die on an attached mod into your pool. So it's before it becomes piloted, meaning you do get to roll it in. So don't go for your dorsal turrets because then you don't get the bonus there. But this is very interesting.
Yeah, definitely bring back some memories.
We the next card will make more. This will make more sense
Okay.
when we
Yeah.
see the next card.
That's fair. All right, smuggling compartment upgrade mod for 2 disrupt, 2 disrupt, resource, 2 resource, blank, modify vehicle support, attach vehicle support, and upgrade dice cannot be removed while they are showing a resource.
I like that. No, I was just thinking about like the SX Freighter. I'm like, oh yeah, I still remember that card. I got so many of them, and it just you only saw it in draft. Other than that, they were drain coasters.
Hey, dice are dice, man. But yeah, here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
I mean, this
interesting.
mod is pretty solid.
No,
For-
this is
especially if you hit
good.
that special.
Tutoring the
I don't
mod
know.
is
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm gonna say I don't
Yes.
like this because I lost a game of Outer Rim with smuggling compartment and Han Solo. So until I win Outer Rim again, I'll hate this card just because of the name of it.
Yeah, this is really interesting because now we've got what you've got the shield that gives you, or the mod that gives you the shield. You got dorsal turret back. I think there's another yellow one. What's the yellow one?
The Art Caster's back, which is good.
Artcaster.
Art
yeah,
Caster's
I remember
good.
that
So I mean, with Dash and Wedge and some of this stuff, or with some of the even with Dash and Plo Koon, this is getting interesting because I haven't done much with mods on supports, but Now you're getting enough that you kind of want him to start to do it.
Yeah, FFG started, then it's just like, oh yeah, we forget all about that, and
Well, they brought him
Yeah,
back.
'cause generally-
They brought him back in CM a little bit, but
yeah.
Yeah.
No, so with
Generally,
all
those
these
pilot
monsters,
decks,
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, generally in those pilot decks, you're not running many upgrades, right? So your upgrades are going to be essentially the mods, right, that you're attaching to the vehicles. So this would definitely slot into, a dash pilot deck. There's a lot of great red mods that were brought into ARH. I think it was from the Redemption set as well. Those proton bombs. But that's going to be a solid
Yeah.
mod too now.
With all this
decreasing the
monster,
cost
I
of
mean,
that.
have they done away with like the old Shadowcaster reset stuff? With all these
No.
mods coming in,
No,
it's
that
still
was
around.
degenerate enough. So no, we don't have.
no, he was
we're not
asking
running
us.
that anymore.
It has been. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
It's
Okay.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's,
good.
That's not happening.
Yeah, and
Are we
remember,
talking about the freighter?
put it in. Yeah, well, the freighter and the smuggling compartment kind of as a pair. But remember that DM is gone, right? Which is the real problem
Oh,
that
God.
mods were having, right? That was the real problem mods were having. It shut mods
not
out
gone.
for 6 sets.
No,
It's not gone,
DM
it's
is still
Spark of
around.
Still around.
It's Spark of Hope.
Yeah,
Yep.
DM is still around. Yeah.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah,
was about
that's
to
still a
say,
thing.
But the thing is, you know what you pull with a freighter for a 0? Deflector shield.
Yeah.
So no problem. Deflector shield prevents it from being discarded.
Yeah,
So DM
except that excess freighter is a 2-drop in of itself. Yeah, maybe.
And deflector shield gives you free shields with the activation. And you can play Arcaster.
Yeah, I do like Artcaster. All right, next. So this plot, this was Mirefire Videos. Unlikely heroes. You may only include non-unique characters on your team. -2 plot. Gray hero. Very interesting. I don't know how to abuse this yet, but I don't know if it's going to be able to be abused, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of
What
fun.
was this
with
when I was
character.
playing 5 Die Jedi?
Yeah.
I'm disgusted.
Well, it has to be
It's
has to be
also important-
non-unique. Non-unique.
Yeah, I
It's
could have
also-
ran like Jedi Sentinels all day, baby.
The real
also important
question
it's
is, why
hero.
were you playing 5 Die Jedi? But yeah.
It's also important. This is hero because villains probably have the better non-unique characters right now
Oh yeah.
with the Heredica. So,
And Death Trooper.
yeah, heroes have a harder time using this plot.
No, I mean, I'm
man
sure
is
the
a
main
player.
reason this is heroes because of the Trando thing, right?
Oh god. Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
I mean, I wouldn't say Trandos are the main problem here anymore.
No, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
mathematically, the Trandoshans got a point increase, so they couldn't do their thing, and then you're giving a -2 plot. So, like, you'd either have to
Oh, yeah.
roll it back or make this only hero.
Yeah, man. Jedi Cal,
is-
Jedi Sentinel.
It is
come
only
on,
hero.
man.
Yeah.
This one is only hero.
Right. Yeah.
So.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. Is
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why. Yeah.
Were the Trandoshans raised to 912? I can't remember.
they're
No, they were 9/11, weren't they?
they were not what? Yeah, what did they get raised to?
Or-
Because you can't run them all
let me check.
anymore.
Sorry, it was 8/11, but then 9/11.
No, I think they were always 9/11.
Yeah. You couldn't run 3.
No.
It was.
No, but that's why they worked with the Death Trooper.
They were always
Right.
9/11, I think.
Yeah, it was the Death Trooper with 2 of them.
So did they not get a point increase then?
I think they got decreased again after some time.
Oh, you know what they did? They put them on the stupid restricted list with something
Oh.
else. That's what they did.
But face the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could play a maximum of 2 of them, right?
All right, BB-8, support droid hero. After you play the support, you may spend 1 resource to make it elite. So 2-drop for the Awakenings BB-8 die, which never saw play outside of the starter deck. I've got like 400 of those dice, man. I don't know.
Oh god. Man, I got me a new booster pack. Can't wait to get in the legendary. Oh shit, it's a BB-8.
Hey, I hear you. It was the absolute worst die to open because you're like, oh, the die I got first in the first product I ever bought, and then I never played it, and now I open it every time. Anyway,
God, this game has so many nightmares.
Focus disrupt special shield resource special blank. The special here is way better. Gain 1 resource and draw a card. Yeah, whatever.
Make it elite. The
Make
2-drop
it elite,
for
yeah.
ramp.
Yeah. Shout
Has
out
the
to these
resource
guys.
side.
But at a
Basically
2,
resource side.
I don't know. At a 2, like we've seen some pretty good 2-drop supports. So
Oh, If you think about this,
Surprised
for
he's
2
not a
drop,
mod
you get
either.
for 2 drop, you get a support that has 2 money size, which are essentially, if you get both of them, a 2 drop for 2 money, or 2 money draw card, however you want to, however you get it, or 2 shield, or 2 disrupt, or 2 focus, in any of those arrangements, in once. So for a 2 drop, actually pretty good.
Plus, let's be honest, who doesn't have at least like 10 BB-8 dice?
Make it elite, baby. That's why.
It's true. Actually,
Yeah, that
I've
actually
cornered the
works.
market on the BB-8 dice. They're all in my closet, so they're now going for $50 a pop. All right, Turret Staff. This card is making Jarkai salivate. 1 drop, 1 melee, 1 melee, 1 melee, shield, and a blank. After you play this upgrade, you may re-roll a die showing a blank or turn it to any side instead if it's on turret. Seems pretty good.
Also, I just clicked on chat stuff in the list, and I got a fatal error in the DB.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why, yeah.
I
It's when
think
this
chat
was-
stuff has a bug in the DB.
It broke the
Uh-oh.
DB.
No, it's just that good. It broke Jarkai.
Yeah, it's just good.
It's that good.
It's actually
Good people are on it.
it actually links to Jarkai, and then Jarkai links back to it, and it's a circular
I think that's the
infinite
DB. I think
reference.
the DB just broke.
I was being funny.
The end. Yeah, the
All
DB I think just broke because fatal error.
All right.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All right, time to go complain.
Too many people watching the Dice Commando live stream and trying to build decks, and the DB broke. Actually, it's just Bassmaster has 900 windows open. All right.
I know.
All right. Bendu's Foresight event. Choose a number. Reroll a die. If that die's value is the chosen number, remove it. Otherwise, you may repeat this effect once.
Hidden motive, but for 1 and twice.
Yep.
And value instead of symbol.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Grow Beyond, renew 2. So it will cost you 2 to play this. It does not mean you can do it twice, right? It will cost you 2 to bring it. So Grow Beyond, 0. Spot a Jedi or Sith to play a blue ability from your discard pile onto another character, decreasing its cost by 1. If this card was played from the discard pile, roll that ability's die into your pool, hence the additional cost.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's pretty good. It's basically what also what Blue Villain can now use instead of, Forbidden Law. If you
All right.
run 2 blue characters.
Yep.
So Hawk Bat Swoop. It's got Yoda on it, so I assume this is like a fighting style or something, because it's an event move. Resolve one of your character or upgrade dice showing a shield as melee, increasing its value by the number of shields on the attached character if it has an upgrade titled Ataru Mastery on it. Whoa, dude.
Oh, is BD Yoda still around? Does anybody even play him?
BD Yoda is still around. And
Yeah, but does anybody
Oh.
play him?
kind of
No.
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 Okay.
Why play an 18 for 12 when you can play a 16 for 13, man?
That sounds like the reoccurring thing for Blue Hero.
So theoretically, you could play that, and if Yoda has 6 shields, and you pay 2 resources for his 4 shield side, you could get 10 damage off Bat Hawk Swoop.
Yep.
Increasing its value by the number of shields that it has on it.
Make it so.
But
Yeah,
first thing
but
first,
you
you
have
got to play Yoda.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Step one, play the
Ayla's
character that no one
back.
plays.
Sypha Diaz does not suck with the whole like draw closer play. Like I think it's doable.
I mean, it's actually not,
You're on mute, Wookie.
of course,
No, see, it's not terrible. It's just,
you need to get Wataru Mastery on it, right? That's the big condition. But once you do, man,
Yeah, I built Yoda, Ayla, United, right? 18. No, you can't do that. But anyway, Yoda, Ayla, and then you run the Arturo stuff with them, and then you can use the Force Mirage, right, for like 4 resources.
Well, you can run United, just not United We Stand, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? Well, 18 and 12.
Yeah.
So,
Because United went back to 0-1, right?
it did?
Did it?
No, it's still 1-2, right?
Oh, it's still 1-2?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it's still 1-2, I believe.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But, yeah, I mean, if you can get a bunch of shields and get Arturo on there, and then pull some shenanigans with the shields and try to keep them alive. It'll be interesting. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm going to give them a run.
All right, Saber Swarm event move for 1. Resolve one of your character or upgrade dice showing melee to remove a die. If that resolved die belongs to a character that has an upgrade titled Taro Mastery on it, give it 2 shields.
Yep. Oh, hey, it's Qui-Gon before he got shanked.
It's also the first time we get 2 moves for 1 form. And probably, in my opinion, the form that might be better than Xian or Niman.
It's pretty good.
That's a hot take over here.
It's a very hot take.
I don't know about
I like
Neiman.
Taro a lot.
I think it's better than Xian, but that's because I don't like paying 4 for things. So
Yeah.
I think it is better than Neiman. Or at least at some point you will get rid of Neiman for Taro.
So this next one, this has been a very interesting card for me because in my spoiler review of it, I wasn't sure how the value calced out on it. Some people think this card's broken. Other people are like, it's probably okay. So I'm interested to see where you guys fall on it. So this is Path to Mastery. It's a neutral blue plot. After setup, set this aside to play a set-aside upgrade with training in its title on one of your characters, decreasing its cost by 1 if able. So you could play a 3-drop, like you could play a Xian training if you wanted to. More than likely, you're going to play like a Neiman training or something like that.
Ataru.
Or Ataru, right?
Ataru training, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to play Ataru. I mean, the good thing about this, it can depend on what you draw. For example, you could draw Neiman Mastery, so then you decide to play the training. If you draw Ataru, you play a Taro training. If you draw it neither, you probably still play a Taro training because that's the better upgrade between the two. And it's probably worth more than starting with a Niman because a Taro training has that immediate 2 damage swing with the special up to a 3 damage swing or 3 health swing if you have 2 shields. And this plot with Master Luke is really good. Because you get an instant ability that you can move over.
But then you're
the real
playing
question
a 13.
Why instead of, since it has Rey on there, why have Path to Mastery? Just give it to them. It's Rey. You don't need to train. You just get it. Just give me the Mastery.
That's why you get one at the start of the game.
No, you don't need training. Just get Mastery. It has Rey on it. Training, please. I don't have time for that in character development.
That's why she's on the card, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
That's why she's there.
Send all the hate mail to dicecommando@gmail.com. Don't send it to me.
No, you can send it there because it's going to bounce back. So
yeah, because I tried the one that I played against the Padme Mill deck was Master Luke and the Wookiee Buriaga, who is 13 after his reduction.
Oh.
And and you just have. I had an Ataru in my hand, so I just played the training, rolled Luke out, did the special, played Ataru Mastery, moved it over to Buriaga, and I mean Ataru Mastery is so good, and yeah, if I hadn't played against Miller, I would have used Buriaga's ability itself to play off to Dagobah. And all that. So it's really powerful to start with a training card, either for free or for 1, because you're probably not going to spend 2 on the Xian training because then you're out of money and screwed if your opponent rolls good.
Wait, Dagobah, that's really good to avoid child support payments, right?
Yeah. Well, but you guys are going to have to take off. It's been a pleasure.
Hey,
enjoying
thanks,
all
man.
you guys.
Yeah,
Later,
Take it easy, guys. Have a good day.
Work in the morning
talk
is
to
for
you
chumps,
again.
dude. Work in the morning is for chumps.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
Yeah,
Up north
Liquid.
here in Canada. See you guys.
I've actually got a pretty big meeting in the morning, so we'll see how this goes. So I don't know.
Take it easy, guys. See you around.
Thanks, man.
I wouldn't say it's broken. It's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's broken.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, so Ataru Mastery, which we've all been talking about. Actually, let's do training first because that one comes after.
Yeah,
so
probably.
Ataru Training's a 2-drop, 1 melee, 1 resource, special. Give a character 1 shield. Deal damage equal to half the number of shields on that character rounded up to a character. You may discard this upgrade to play a card titled Ataru Mastery from your hand or discard pile on an attached character for free. And then Ataru Mastery is basically everything one better, as you would expect. 2/2/2, 1 resource, special. After you play this upgrade, give a character 2 shields. Give a character 2 shields. Deal damage equal to the number of shields on that character to a character.
Why did it still have raised face on anything with the word training in it?
Anyway, compare Ataru Mastery with Obi's lightsaber. Obi's lightsaber had better melee sides, but that special and play effect is just so big.
Yeah.
Ataru Mastery is a 4 health swing at the least. If you use it on a character that has no shields on it.
Yeah, Ataru Mastery is pretty good.
Yeah, that looks really dope. I mean, it's just trying to make, Big Yoda great again, but I don't know. I'd rock it. I'd definitely give it a shot.
And the important thing is, it's also because of that, of just the innate 4 health swing, it's also really good in villain.
Yeah.
Because, for example, for Dooku, I prefer that over actually Makashi, because Makashi is, it's fine, but it's not protecting you as much as Ataru could at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a Bane card, right? Like, Bane playing this for 1 seems pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Pretty much any big blues rocking this.
Yep.
Yep, if only you could
And that is
into it.
that is why I say you probably want to overrate Nimon for it, because while Nimon's flip is fine and all that, Ataru will win you the game because it has the damage size that you can also roll, and it has the big special.
Yep, digging it. I haven't played it yet, but I would definitely want to try it. It's going to be pretty good.
All right, Palace of the Jedi, Coruscant. So I think this is... Oh, it's not quite Bendu's die. Never mind, but it's close.
It's inner strength. It's in the die of inner strength.
Oh, inner strength. Okay, fair enough. So it is focus, 2 shield, resource, special, blank. After you take control of this battlefield, remove its die. Makes sense. PA, roll this die into your pool. Special, move 1 damage from a character to another character.
And it has the inner strength special.
Yeah, only that inner strength, it had to be a character with no shields that you moved it to.
Did anyone ever play that card outside of the
I
starter
tried.
set?
I tried, yeah. With Yoda, I tried.
It was alright. I tried it with Raylo too. It was alright. But yeah, this one is
Well, I used it. I used it in early days with Yoda in a mill deck. It was effectively healing because you were shy on that type of stuff back then, right? But anyway.
Oh yeah.
I love the fact that 10th Brother is turned on automatically by this.
Yep. Regardless of who has it, yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I haven't tried it.
think
I won't try it with it.
it's good to have a battlefield with a die. That's always a fun aspect in the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just I think it's a nice battlefield to have. I mean, it's a 2 health swing when you use it. So
Yeah.
funny enough,
Shield-
you can use it to move damage to Ren without triggering his ability because it's moving damage.
All right, next up. So we have roughly 15 or so cards to go. So, all right. So I Am No Jedi. It's a red neutral event. Spot a blue character, resolve one of your red character dice as if it were showing a different symbol. Spot a red character to draw a card. So kind of keeping our multicolor theme going. I like it.
Yeah.
Next we have Ace Pilot. So this is a 2-drop ish, but it's a 2-drop plot. Team up 1 each unique pilot. This is what we were talking about, J Danger, with being able to actually get negative out of it if you're running wide. So action, set this plot aside and spend resources equal to the cost of a unique vehicle in play to make it elite.
Yep. And that is the reason I think why Hera and Luke are not completely out of the game yet. Because I mean, if you
Luke is with Plo. Luke's 11.
No, because but Luke, if you use this with Luke, he will increase both of those dice. Use it on something like a Phantom.
I see what you're saying.
You can do it for cheap. Like a Phantom, 2 cost, make it elite for 1. Oh, well, paid for 1, make it elite for 1. And pilot with Luke. Sadly, you don't get the increase once it's attached to Ghost because it's no longer a support, and look, ability only works in support dice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I think the true strength of this one lies in just its minus if you're doing a wide. I mean, quite frankly, but
with Plo, yeah,
I'm not underselling the other part, but the fact that you can make a 3-wide team at -1 is pretty big.
Yeah.
All right, the mission that never ends. Got some of my 2/12 boys on there. Team up 1. Team up 1s are always scary. Team up 1 each trooper. After one of your trooper characters is defeated, set this plot aside to roll that character's character dice plural, into your pool. You may resolve those dice if able, otherwise remove them. So this is free with Cody and Rex, right?
I don't like it. That's the one I don't like because it's a net benefit. I played against Igofreeze, Bo-Katan, and Cara Dune. I didn't even come close to killing one of the characters, but I don't like this plot simply because it makes you win even harder. It gives the opponent basically punches them in the face if they think of coming back.
I didn't think about that with Bo-Katan and Cara Dune.
Yeah.
That's why I was putting those two together.
Yeah, if you play any matchup with two somewhat big trooper dice or trooper characters, that is why I don't like it, and I think they should really watch this plot. Because it is, oh right, you defeated Bo-Katan. Well, let me roll out her dice. Oh, look at this, 6 damage.
Yeah.
I win regardless.
Yeah, I'll let you in on a dirty secret of Star Wars Destiny balance rules, though. Unless it's winning things, people don't care. And this won't be a problem unless it's already a problem, but then it won't be identified as the problem, right? Because it'll be the characters that are the problem.
Well, we will see. I think this will be a one. I think I spoke with some people, and I think they know that this one might be a problem. And if it is, well, whoever designed this card, or if anybody said they want this card in, that's on them. But I think they know that this card might be on the watch list. But
if like you're saying, but if it's just a win more NPE card, then it probably won't see a balance, right? Because it's not winning you the game in itself.
But
right?
it can. The thing is, no, it's more like it prevents a comeback for the opponent. That's the thing. It's if you are ahead, it's less of an automatic win. It's like if you are ahead, it just prevents them from ever getting ahead of you again. Okay. That's the problem with it, I think.
So the more I thought about it in a different... I mean, I hear what you're saying, and actually I am kind of skewing towards that. But I used to play a game called Argent Saga, and they had the kind of a balancing mechanic of your objective was to destroy their stuff, and whenever you would destroy one of their things, some random effect would happen. And it was kind of a balancing mechanic. And that's kind of how I saw this originally, was if I'm losing, I have a chance to strike you again before, for whatever reason, you just roll out Jarkai and hit me for 12, which does happen. So that's how I saw it. I didn't really think about it from your point of view.
The problem that I have is just at its 0 cost with 2 troopers. It can go further with wide, but with wide it also loses effectiveness, because if you use smaller dice, you get smaller rewards out of it, but you get maybe the minus. That's the exchange, so that is good about it. The wider you go with this, the less you get out of the ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like it because of just the net benefit. You get a net positive. Even the other plots don't just have a net positive. You have to do something to gain that. Besides the bounty hunters. But
well, I mean, there has to be some sort of net positive, otherwise you're not running the...
So the only perhaps redeeming element to it is that if they're playing a... Oh, yes. Looks like Bastian was saying something as well. He got muted or something.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. So if you're playing, like, let's say a big trooper and a little trooper, right? This is not an optional effect. So, like, you could choose to go after the less dangerous trooper first, if you will, to force the plot to be set aside, rather than, obviously you don't always have a choice, right? If they're loading up Bo-Katan with 3 weapons, what are you gonna do? Like, still go for the other one? But it's it's just to say that, like, if there's a trooper that you have an opportunity to kill, you could get the plot to be set aside that way, or you could also like try to get it out when the dice are already in the pool or things like that. So there are some like scenarios where you might have some counterplay to it.
So would you agree that it might be on a watch list simply because of just seeing what kind of impact it might have?
It's a trap. I plead the fifth.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So security droid. This is a 2-drop droid support. 2 guns for 1 resource. 2 melee for a indirect disrupt resource and a blank. After you resolve this die showing damage, you may spend 1 resource to remove a die showing damage. Seems pretty legit. The sides aren't super amazing, but
it's basically removal on a removal on a droid.
Right. The damage sides themselves aren't amazing, but it's 50% damage that turns into potential removal. That seems useful, right?
It won't see too much play, but there might be some Aphra decks or other maybe Grievous decks that can make it work.
I'm thinking if you have like an OG, remember like the good old Legacy stack where there was like 4 whites and you had Guardians and a whole bunch of like little things that were poking you, and you would Guardian some dice and remove some other dice and almost had no resolves. This, like, in a deck like that has a lot of little things and does a lot of removal and has enough resources, this thing could be really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to deal with that die because like it's just going to like deal damage to you and remove your die. You don't want to have that.
Yeah. I like this card. Yeah, me saying the damage dice aren't good isn't a complaint. It's just right that the strength of this card lies in what it does, not its die, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's Deflector Shield. We'll kind of skip over this because we already talked about it in a couple instances, but it's modify support for 1 before attached vehicle would be discarded. Discard this from play instead, so it's a shield generator built in with a DAC ability. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Akbar will love this, as will any pilot decks that will play out with mods and shields.
Plo Koon likes this, right?
Yep.
All right, utility belt. I like cards like this. Utility belts, upgrade equipment. Attached character has +1 upgrade limit. So this is effectively a free die, or not a free die. It's a free upgrade. Focused, discard, shield, resource, and a blank. It's just a solid for 1 extra no fill slot die.
Yep.
How was it on Echo Base? Who was playing it? Somebody played Qui-Gon Senator, Republic Senator, and he didn't get to play the utility belt, but somebody said that you have to put the utility belt on Qui-Gon and use a Bad Hawk swoop to finally really play Batman in Star Wars Destiny. Because it is a utility belt. It is utility.
It's interesting. I feel like even if the card, not that the like text is amazing per se, but like I feel like even if it was blank, I will probably consider running this die.
I don't know that I'd run it over promotion though, because promotion's reprinted. So I think I'd run promotion first. But
it's also important to note we don't have Bacta anymore.
Right, exactly. But we lost Custom Bandolier as well. So
like 2 1 focus. Like I love a 1 focus die and a 1 cost card. I love a discard and a 1 cost card. And
true.
I love a resource as well. So
it doesn't take an upgrade slot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this is a really good card. Really good utility card. Haha. See what I did there? All right. All right. Tapoka City, we've seen this one, but Red Battlefield. This one I think was OTS. I think spoiled this one. That might not be true.
Somebody spoiled it.
Yeah, somebody spoiled it. Power action, re-roll one of your dice, then you may resolve it. That's good. Claim, re-roll an opponent's die, then you may force them to resolve it if able. Also seems good, because it's a may. Of course, if you're not may reforcing them, they're pretty much going to do it anyway, because you've already claimed. But either way, re-roll an opponent's die effectively. So,
Is it just me, or is there anybody else that reads that as Tapioca City?
I might have done it as well.
Take me down to
It's
Tapioca City.
It's pretty good. I've
It's
played
pretty good.
against it and with it. It's good. Just that rerolling one of your dice and getting to immediately resolve it is very useful.
Yeah. I've used it and a built-in doubt on a claim, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good card. All right, here we go. Fennec Shand, character bounty hunter. This character's really good, dude. 11-14 for 11 health, gun, 3 gun for 1, 2 melee, 1 focus. You hate to see that, but it's fine on her. 1 resource, blank. After you play a yellow event, you may reroll one of your dice. Whoa. And she's got a power action, reroll a weapon die. Does not have to be yours. Then if that die is showing damage, deal 1 damage to a character. Otherwise, give this character 1 shield.
That's like the old Mothma ability. Play an event, reroll a die.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
She's,
Yep.
Oh, wait, she's way better than Mon Mothma.
Yeah,
she's way better than Mon Mothma. And I actually, remind me if I'm wrong here, J Danger, isn't that the same cost as Mon Mothma was back in the day?
Man,
Yes.
get out. I'm leaving.
Yes, it is. I think Mon Mothma wasn't Mon Mothma actually 10-14 or something like that.
Maybe.
No, she was like, God, that was.
She was definitely she was definitely 14 elite. I remember that.
Why was she 14, bro? Why was she 14?
With 9 health.
Like, give me a break.
All right, Fennec Shand, I'm super excited about, but this one is also a very interesting card. So this is track target a 1-cost downgrade bounty. Play only if you spot a bounty hunter. After attached character is activated or defeated, you may draw a card.
That's a good card. That's
it's-
a good downgrade.
Dead or alive. It's dead or alive. It's the same value. Resources are worth a little more than a card, but it's roughly the same concept. So
You put it on, you have a 6 card hand for the rest of the game as long as that character is alive.
Yeah, that's great. That's real good.
Yep. And dead or alive is not rotated out yet either. So
Yeah, I played it on the off character, so the one I wasn't killing, and then I was gaining a resource and a card.
yeah,
The entire. That's pretty awesome.
yep, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Black Market Connection. I have feelings on this, so I'm going to tap out. But Black Market Connection, if there's another copy of this card in your discard pile, search your deck for an upgrade and play it, decreasing its cost by 3. If you search your deck, shuffle it. Then set aside all copies of this card in your discard pile and set this card aside. What do we think?
It's alright.
That plot Double Down is long gone, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's alright.
Fair question.
Perfect.
Fair question.
Yep.
Yeah, remember, I've been out the loop, so.
As
was
the
there, man.
discussion has been had before, but unless you play a heavy cycling deck, you won't consistently trigger it. If you trigger it round 1, it is going to feel bad for the opponent, and that might create some NPE. But of course, there's the argument it's not going to trigger consistently. Most of the time, you're probably going to trigger it round 3.
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought
you
it
will
would
have
have
games.
better premonitions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo
And
Base
then
did
you
a
have
write-up
games-
on it. That was pretty good, where they showed like the chances of getting it like by round 3, and then by the
Yeah.
time if you get it round 3, you're already through half your deck, so there may not be much left in there. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those cards that isn't going to get added because there's so many other
Yeah.
good cards.
You need to play a cycling deck to really take advantage of it. So you need the new yellow battlefield and maybe Han
Yeah.
to really dig for the second copy. Or you play a covert mission deck.
You'll probably lose more games by putting it in your deck than you'll win.
Wait,
But
the
the
mission
game that
never
you win
ends.
at, you'll just you'll just.
Is the
laugh
mission that
really
never
hard.
ends actually a mission plot?
We'll find out. Oh, wait, unless we're already there. I don't remember. I think it's red, right?
Yeah, let me see.
I
what
mean,
the
yeah,
website
we
says.
already talked about the mission that never ends.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well,
I agree. I think this one's not going to see a lot of competitive play, like overall, because it's going to be too inconsistent. But when it hits, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Right. Opening hand, both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is going to suck if you have.
Yeah.
that.
Mulligan hard, baby.
Gonna go search for my free Ataro mastery.
Yeah, I just on cards like that, I don't like using I understand the stats and the chances and all that, and I don't like using that as a justification because it doesn't justify the payoff, right?
Right.
So I mean, you look at something like, I don't know, we already talked about Del Fist, right? Getting that to work was also low percentage, but it ruled a meta. And I'm not saying this cards are going to rule a meta, but it's the same concept, right?
It's a good thing that Jabba rotated out.
Well,
Oh,
the
that's
probability is about
Oh, yeah,
half
good
of
point.
that, right? So
No, it's not as high as Del Fist. It's not, because it's two of the same versus two of different. I get that.
well,
but
we
it's-
used to have Long Con, which
Oh yeah.
you didn't get to search your deck, but you get 3 free resources, and nobody played that.
Yeah,
At
because
least
you
that
didn't
I'm
get to
aware.
search your deck. It was 2 cards and then you were screwed because you didn't have anything left. But in this case, you get to search your deck, so you can replenish a card with a free. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is.
My question, here's another one. How about Jin Han? Doesn't Jin have isn't there a red card that lets you dive into your deck to pull it?
Open mission.
Covert missions.
Yeah, had a mission plot.
And you
That
have
is why I
intelligence.
asked if the mission that never ends was.
I got
Yeah,
you.
but
mission
the
plot.
Jin Han plot is intel. It's not a mission. So
Yeah. But if you,
okay.
for example, if the mission that never ends is an actual mission plot, you could play covert mission with it if you played like Bo-Katan, Kara, and they actually
I got
play
you.
weapons.
all right, next up, complicated profession. Spot a bounty hunter and a bounty. To remove a die showing the value of 2 or less, gain 1 resource. So it's effectively free, but you do have the entry point. This seems pretty good.
It is.
Seems pretty good.
All right.
All right, greed.
I couldn't decide. Go ahead.
Greed. Spot a yellow character. So there's a 0 drop. Spot a yellow character to remove 1 of your dice, then gain 1 resource. Spot a red character to take 1 additional action. So turn anything into a. So it's kind of a weird bait and switch. Well, no, not really.
No, that's definitely a bait and switch.
Yeah.
It's- I mean, it's it's a means of getting resources. The Death Watch Mandalorians love this. With Black Store, you gain a money and deal 2 indirect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
fair- yeah.
but if you're running yellow, you're not running into money. It's just you're not blue.
Well, you might. I mean, his point's fair. You might be if you're running that particular build, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. All right, this card is hot. This card is crazy good. Bow rifle, 1 melee, 1 melee, 1 melee, 2 melee, 2 shield, blank, all for 2 cost. It has redeploy built in, baby. And you may resolve the damage sides of this die as if they were ranged damage. Holy
What's up?
Christ, Zeb, and I'm guessing Callus in the next set. Oh my god.
Maybe.
Man, this looks great in Blue Hero.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah, Blue Hero will also like this with Jokai.
Oh yeah.
Everybody,
And it's redeploy.
everybody hates redeploy. I mean, this card is phenomenal, and you can resolve as if they're ranged.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it only took a few years for Zep to stop sucking ass and somebody give us a decent one.
Hey, I won a game with Zeb once. It happened.
Me too.
Actually, I won more than one with him. I played him a lot in Legacies.
Yeah, the after his reduction, he was actually quite decent.
Yoda, Zeb, but impulsive. Ah.
Yep, yep.
The good old days.
Yoda Zeb back in Legacies. I'm right there with you. All right, Undercity Coruscant. I know. Oh, this one was OTS, so the red one wasn't. This one was OTS. Power action: draw a card, then place a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Claim, draw a card. Let's go find those black market connections, people.
Yep.
It's also, besides that, it's just good because you can get rid of a card you don't want in your hand in exchange for something you might want in your hand.
Yep, going fishing, baby.
Yep. And it's a non-permanent recursion, so I like it. Yep. All right, hold fast. This was my fire. Remove one. So it's a 0 drop. Remove one of your non-unique character dice. Remove a die. So it's a generic or gray measure for measure. Many types like that. Pretty solid. So unique perspectives. This one is unique. So 1 drop gray. Spot 2 characters that share a subtype and not a color to deal 2 damage. Spot 2 characters that share a color and no subtypes to heal 2 damage from a character.
I love the design of this card. Like the having to go and figure out how to build a deck with this, and then on top of that, I think the artwork is amazing in this one. This is one of my favorite cards.
It's definitely one of the cards where you want to maybe some kind of Maul deck where you want to flip Maul again. Maybe try that again for a good old time's sake, where you have to kind of try to make it work in a way where you trigger both parts of it.
You could if you had some kind of a 3-white deck, right?
Yeah, obviously it has to be a 3-white.
Yeah.
It had basically. For example, you wanted to play more, let's say, more than some blue, with which he doesn't share a subtype, and then the blue has to share a subtype with another colored character.
You can't trigger both at the same time, but
You can.
You can't?
You can. You have 3 characters.
no, you can. Well, no, because spotting is not optional, so there's no point at which you can spot 2 characters that share a subtype and also spot 2 characters that don't share a subtype, right?
Well, yes, you can. If you have 3 characters, 2 of them are color and share no subtype, and then because the spotting effects are still separate, you can spot the same character twice if it's part of another effect of the card.
Yeah, so you could have single die Baze, single die Churret, and some blue character. I know those points don't work out, but you could have Baze and Churret that share a subtype and not a color, and then you could have a blue character or a piddly red character that would share no subtypes but a color.
All that, baby.
All right, Gozanti Cruiser. So this is kind of a scary card, actually. So 2 drop, support vehicle, shield, 2 shield for 1, resource, blank. PA, remove one of your dice showing a shield to discard a random card from an opponent's hand.
There's the hand discard that.
Yep. And it makes shields. It's everything you ever wanted. Wanted.
Yeah, I think this goes into a mace deck.
This goes into many decks, actually.
Goes out.
Because
Yeah.
and not because also bounty eaters or with Black Star, you might also use it because it discards and then deals damage.
That is true.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that deck can spin 2 on this though, instead of a Vibro Cutlass or whatever. But maybe. All right, this card is hot. 0 cost, Z95, support vehicle. Before you activate this support, deal 1 indirect damage to yourself. It has a die of 1 gun, 2 gun for 1, 3 gun for 1. Those are all resources. With a resource, double blank. It is a reuse of it wasn't the Z95. Oh, yeah, it was Headhunter,
Yeah, it was.
right?
Yeah. Remember that.
Yeah, action. That was the one that dealt you indirect when you rolled it in or something.
Yeah, you try to play with Rose and get the stuff off of there so you can use it.
Wait, no, I think that was the Hawk.
That was the Hawk. Yeah, but that's not this. There was the Z95 die, right?
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Oh, good point. Good eye.
No, the Hawk was in Legacies, actually. The Z95 was in Empire at War, which is what this is from. So you're right, though. The one we were talking about with the ability was the Hawk. You're correct. Action. Discard 2 cards from your hand to take control of the support. Any May player use this action, so it's kind of a little shout-out to Fickles in its own way. This looks pretty good with the Jacked. That's all I know.
No Fickles.
It's rough to...
Go ahead, Ora. I
Elrath,
was going
you're
to
up.
say... Yeah, go ahead, Ora.
I was gonna say it's like it's really good when your opponent is down to like 3 or 2 cards. You don't have to play it straight away, and then you play it, and it's like, oh, look at that 0 cost vehicle die that you don't know what to do with, right? And then, next round you have to choose either to take that dice again or to lose 2 cards, which is a very high payment.
Yeah, they're dealing an indirect to themselves, though, so.
Yeah.
Although, when you see this come down and somebody's going to target for eject, don't you just buy it right away? That's what I did. I was like...
They have to pilot it first to activate it, so you let them activate it. So they take the damage, and then you steal it, Yep.
How does... I assume you have to still control it to be piloting it, right?
To eject it?
No, to actually be... Well, because you have to be piloting it to eject. So are you still piloting it if it goes to the other side of the table? I mean, I assume so. I just...
Let me check. Piloting...
Yeah, we'll move on while you're looking it up, but that is relevant. If not, I'm sure they'll change it.
Yeah.
All right, so EE3 carbine rifle. Sounds like I'm having a stroke there. So 3 for 1 indirect, +3, blank, blank, blank. While this upgrades on a bounty hunter or trooper, it gains redeploy. Seems decent. Power action, remove this die showing damage to deal 3 indirect to an opponent. That seems really good.
Wasn't this like the scatter gun back from was it Legacies?
A scatter blaster had a pretty good special, if I remember correctly. There was a card that had 3 blanks though. Maybe I'm thinking a chance cube though, but I don't know.
No, not chance cube. No, there was one that thought it was like a upgrade. It's one of those. It was a drink coaster, but still, it existed.
You might be right. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it wasn't Scatter Blaster, but there was something like that.
Yeah.
All right, and then I believe this is the last card, folks. High Valley Ryloth. Power action. Resolve one of your non-unique character die, increasing its value by 1. So definitely fits in with the theme we've seen. There's some non-unique love there. Galactic Grunts format. Loving it, folks. All right.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
Also, eject is a discard a vehicle you control.
You control.
So, yeah.
But what does piloting? Well, but what does piloting say? Yeah.
So the piloting says its controller may choose a vehicle they control and activate it. So the pilot is piloting, but the condition for no longer piloting is when the vehicle leaves play.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you would still be technically piloting it.
But they can't eject from it because they don't control it.
Yeah, so that's fair. That's fair. But they would still technically be piloting. So you could still assail. Right? Oh no, spot a piloted vehicle?
Yeah, you can't spot it anymore.
Okay, true. Yeah, okay, that's an edge case that probably won't come up then. But they are still technically piloting that vehicle.
Which means it will come up, now you said it.
Wait. What does Luke say here? Not that you...
Oh, it would. Yeah, actually it would. You'd be able to increase it by 1 if Luke was piloting it against them. Yeah, you would.
Steal it.
You would.
Steal it.
Yeah, you would.
All right, Luke. Now you're working for me.
That's funny. That's all right. Luke's not going to see much play after Plo now, so it don't matter.
Wait. Does Luke really not say that you control?
No, it's because he's pilot. It doesn't need to because it says piloting, right? And it wasn't in their rule set. So interesting. All right, well that'll do it, I think. That's the whole set. Gabe looks like he's asleep at the wheel already. So
I'm about to sleep. Yeah.
Wow,
it's sunny outside. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's getting bright and good.
He literally he's in college and he pulled an all-nighter with us playing Star Wars Destiny.
Luckily, I only have a doctor's appointment in half an hour, and my class actually got cancelled today. I read yesterday evening.
Fair enough. All right, well, Elrath, you still here, man? Nope.
I think he fell asleep. He's asleep.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Put himself on mute so he can start snoring.
All right. Well, thanks, folks. I don't know how many people are still watching, but Thanks everybody
15.
for hanging out. This was a lot of fun just to sit and jam. And actually, we do get a record. We actually did this faster than the last time we did it. So good for us. All right. Well, I think that'll do it. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're here, you've probably already done that, so no worries. And don't forget about the Saturday tournament. If you haven't signed up already, go sign up. It's free. You can go jam 6 rounds of Destiny with these fine folks. And
take some of LRAS money.
That's right. And if you play all 6 rounds, you get a cool Bo-Katan and a cool Fennec Shand, which if you don't want, I'll take them because I want them, but I unfortunately can't play all 6 rounds.
A short clarification on Luke. It's before you resolve a support.
Oh, it is before you resolve. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Too bad.
All these edge cases.
Luke.
All right, well, it was nice seeing the full set. Actually, one thing we also need to mention, the new DB is up for the Air HDB, I think is what we'll have to be calling it, right? Which is...
We're going to use up very loosely.
Yeah. Right now, it's under a fatal error. So
yeah. Okay. Well,
it exists.
It has been created. Either way, it's a product of a lot of hard work. It probably just crashed because there's too many people making decks right now, right? I mean, I'm sure. Yep. So, which is, I mean, that's kind of like a good problem to have. Not that crashing is a good thing.
Also, probably going to use that to also fix some other few issues they had. So far.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, thanks, folks. Do you guys have any parting words before we get out of here, or is it just time to go to bed?
It's almost time to go to bed, but I got to say that this set looks amazing. I have no idea what I'm going to play, but great job, ARH guys. Great job.
Oh, man. We're going to see some really interesting stuff. I'm looking at Dooku a lot currently because, man, that control builds that you can do with them.
It's like Blue Hero and DJ all together. Or sorry, Blue Villain and DJ all together.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I mean, I'll still be here sharing memes. So I might come back and play Mace one time, lose, and then quit again.
You have to play Mace and then rage quit.
Mace is not bad. He is, as Ryan said, it's not too difficult to set him up and then just go ham on the opponent. So
yeah, I need to find a good shield whore for him just to protect him, or at least go red and try to just heal his way through it. But I think like you're saying, mono blue is the way to go with United We Stand.
Yep.
Well, we will see on Saturday.
I won't be here. I'll be down in Houston at the Texas Rent Fair.
Nice.
All right, folks.
Never been to one. So.
I'm gonna shut this down. But thank you very much for tuning in. Everybody have a great rest of your evening or morning, however it may be. And say it with me, folks. Go Commando.
Go Commando.
Go Commando.